The National Broadcasting Company presents the National Football League. Today from Cleveland Stadium, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. Brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck. And by Allstate, for home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It is a sellout crowd here at Cleveland Stadium. 80,000 have turned out for one of the NFL's heated rivalries, and this game has been a sellout since early July, and they've come out on a partly cloudy 74-degree day. The condition of the field is questionable. It could get even worse. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Joe Namath, and this a matchup of two teams that come off surprising opening day performances. The Pittsburgh Steelers knocking off the San Francisco 49ers, the Cleveland Browns losing to the New Orleans Saints, and today could well be an adventure, Joe, because of the field conditions. Very sloppy out there. In fact, we saw during the course of the pregame warm-ups, Browns kicker Jeff Jager took a spill. Now, how will this all affect what takes place during the ball game this afternoon?
Well, I feel that the playing conditions are going to affect the running game. First of all, they're going to have a hard time getting good traction. So what both teams have done, they've gone to longer cleats. This is the normal cleat that they wear, and this is the longer cleat of the two. By using the longer cleat, they hope to get better traction.
Joe bringing some props for demonstration purposes. What about the quarterbacks? Who has the edge in this type situation, Mark Malone or Bernie Kosar?
Well, because of the field conditions, it's difficult for a quarterback to drop back, get set up on balance without slipping or sliding. Kosar uses a shotgun formation. This is a big advantage. Chuck Noll and the Pittsburgh Steelers don't believe in the shotgun formation. I think they're going to suffer because of that.
One other factor with the strike looming, it may well be the finale for both the Browns and the Steelers. So what effect will that have on the game today? And have there been distractions for the players during the course of the week?
You know, I've talked with players on both sides, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and most of them said, no, there aren't any distractions. But I don't buy that. You know, every other question they get asked is about the strike, so they can't have 100% concentration on this game. They're concerned with the strike.
And there is 55-year-old Chuck Noll, the head coach of the Steelers, born here in Cleveland. In fact, started his NFL career with the Browns back in 1953. On the other hand, Cleveland Browns head coach Marty Schottenheimer is from Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania. Grew up as a Steelers fan and spent 6 weeks as a player with the Steelers in training camp back in 71. In fact, Chuck Noll was coaching the linebackers at the time. This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. The Steelers won the toss. They will receive. And there is Lupe Sanchez getting set to receive the kickoff from the rookie out of the University of Washington, Jeff Jager. Sanchez last year, major surprise, led the AFC in kickoff return. It's a short kick. He's out to the 20. And fumbles. Lupe Sanchez coughed it up, but it is recovered by the Steelers. So the 12-yard return by the second-year man out of UCLA.
Lupe Sanchez has good speed, but he takes a good hit here by number 36 as he slipped. First, the ball came free, and Pittsburgh luckily recovered.
And Hardy Nickerson able to recover. So the Steelers first down from the 20-yard line. Mark Malone, who certainly heard it from the crowd back in Pittsburgh last week, although in a winning effort, hit only 9 of 33, but he goes to the ground for Ernest Jackson. Ernest Jackson ran for 103 yards against the San Francisco 49ers. Jackson and Abercrombie are the running backs. John Stallworth, Lewis Lips, who was a question mark because of the flu, is in the starting lineup. The tight end is Preston Gothard. Up front, they're anchored by the 14-year veteran Mike Webster. Pickup of 5, second down 5 from the 26-yard line. And again to the ground for Jackson, who will get much activity here today. Mike Johnson, the inside linebacker, on the stop. It is close to the first down marker. And up front, the Cleveland Browns doing some shuffling, had all kinds of difficulties on the left side. Sam Clancy not starting today. Instead, it is Reggie Camp back in the starting lineup. And Lucius Sanford, one-time Buffalo Bill, replacing Anthony Griggs, the starter last week. It's a 3rd down and 1 from the 30-yard line. Dwight Stone surprising the Browns. And a flag toss. Hanford Dixon, the right corner, on the stop as Stone picks up the first down and some more, running at 23 yards. Stone, a rookie from Middle Tennessee State. Looks to be a face mask. The referee today is Gene Barth.
Personal foul, a 15-yard face mask penalty. 15 yards and a first down.
So it is a face mask as we get a look to be the quarterback, Hanford Dixon, who made the tackle.
Dwight Stone's the fastest running back the Pittsburgh Steelers have. I watched him in practice last week. Every play that he ran was to the outside. There's the penalty right there. He grabs his face mask because he's going out of bounds. I have to believe Cleveland's going to have to change their defense eventually to stop this Pittsburgh's running attack.
And it's a first down at the Cleveland 34-yard line. Abercrombie for a very short pickup. Walter Abercrombie in his 6th year out of Baylor, stopped by Reggie Camp. We may see some shuffling defensively by the Browns. Mike Junkin, the rookie from Duke, just not ready, was a holdout reported late, and we'll probably see him later on freelancing out of what Schottenheimer says will be much use of the 4-6.
Yes, they didn't stop New Orleans' running game last week, and Pittsburgh loves to run the traps up the middle, so they'll change their things pretty soon.
Abercrombie picked up a yard. 2nd and 9 at the Cleveland 33. Jackson is hit for a loss. Cleveland Browns trying to show that they can stop the run.
Well, they just used 4 down linemen on this particular play. They brought in a new defensive lineman. Now, if you watch Golick versus Mike Webster right here, Golick gets the better of him to get back into the backfield, even though he didn't make the tackle. Mike Webster tells me that playing against Golick is like wrestling a grizzly bear.
And I know Bob took that very well when he heard Bob Golick did not have a tackle, did not have a good one last week against New Orleans. 3rd down 10 at the 34. Along throwing for the first time, throwing deep. Pass intended for Charles Lockett, the rookie from Long Beach State. And there's the cover man, Frank Minifield. And I have a feeling that Lockett heard a little barking and perhaps some taunts from Frank Minifield.
Right, well, here you see Lockett run a stop-and-go pattern. Pittsburgh thinks if they can get the defenders to stop on this wet surface, they'll have a hard time going again. And actually, he was open. It was just an overthrow.
And now in punt formation is Harry Newsom. The Pittsburgh Steelers not going for the field goal. Would be a long attempt for Gary Anderson. Instead, here's Newsom, who comes off an outstanding game last week, putting it in the corner. But it carries through. Steelers not able to get to it.
It's great.
So Cleveland will go to the offense from the 20.
Stone made a rookie mistake. He should have caught the ball on the fly. He's allowed to do that.
Like many before, you came here asking for just one thing.
Sadowski. Shiboski.
A chance.
Pronounced Shiboski.
You're gonna make it here, 'cause you make America work, and this one's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste
Hey, Sid.
that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
Yeah, I know I need life insurance, but I hate spending money on something I hope I'll never use and won't be around to enjoy if it ever is used.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Allstate has life insurance that pays you for living. Allstate Universal Life. It protects your family if you die, and it can provide competitive earnings for your retirement.
So, my family's set if I'm gone, and I'm in the money if I stick around. I think I'll stick around.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Listen to the heartbeat.
It's the first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade. The advanced new Chevy with more cab room than Ford, plus a brand new extended cab.
Rough, tough working stuff. Feel the heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
Take the test drive of the decade in the new full-size Chevy.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
Coming from the left side of your screen on the bottom, you'll see number 20, Dwight Stone of Pittsburgh, get into position. Now, Dwight Stone can catch the football on the fly as long as he's not interfering with the Cleveland receiver. Instead, he lets it hit the ground and go in the end zone. That would have been bad field position for Cleveland had he caught the ball. I think that's just a rookie mistake.
As a result, the Browns to the offense for the first time. First down from the 20, Ernest Biner, Kevin Mack are the running backs. Bernie Kosar coming off a 28 for 39, 314 yards against the Saints. And it's the second back, Mack, stopped at the line. Check that, Biner, who was stopped at the line. Ernest Biner in his fourth year out of East Carolina. The receivers, Langhorne, Slaughter, and the tight end, Ozzie Newsome, a favorite target of Bernie Kosar. And up front, Mike Babb, the center, Farron and Fike at the guards, Rison and Bolden are the tackles. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Brian Brennan now has come on, flank to the left side. Penalty marker thrown. Kosar with the time overthrows the pass intended for Webster Slaughter. And as they sorted out, check of the 10-minute ticker. And not much doing at this point. Keith Willis, the left defensive end, was called on the offside. Keith Willis, in his 6th season out of Northeastern, led Pittsburgh with 12 sacks a year ago. Steelers getting good work from the linebackers last week, although they are banged up. Ryan Hinkle with a sprained foot. Mike Merriweather, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, also took a couple of hard hits. 2nd down and 5. Play action for Kosar. Goes the middle and overthrows. Intended for the wide receiver, Reggie Langhorne. And a look at the Steelers defense. Willis, Dunn, and Nelson up front. And the linebackers with Cole and Little in the middle. Merriweather and Hinkle, outstanding outside linebackers. Delton Hall, the only rookie in the Steeler lineup, had a terrific game last week. Returned a fumble, 50 yards for touchdown, had an interception. It's a 3rd down and 5. The lone deep back now is Biner as they go slot left. Short setup and the completion to Slaughter for the first down across the 35-yard line. Webster Slaughter on an 11-yard pass play. Brian Hinkle made the stop.
Well, this is one Kosar is certainly glad to complete. His first 2 receivers were open. If you watch the left side of the screen, you'll see the receiver slant right across the middle here. Wide open. Now, I know that's got to make Bernie feel good. As I said, he missed his first 2 passes attempts, and he had receivers in the open.
4.5 gone by. First quarter, no score. First down, 37-yard line. And he goes to the ground for Kevin Mack. Kevin Mack stopped by David Little, the inside linebacker. Mack had problems last year with his left shoulder. Still ran for 665 yards. Scored 10 touchdowns, as you see. Began to hit full stride in the final weeks of the season when he's healthy. One of the top power backs in the NFL. A couple of big guys combining with Biner and Mack 2 years ago. They each surpassed 1,000 yards. 2nd down 7. Cleveland at its 40-yard line. Kosar looking left and goes the short route as Mack. Mack with another. Browns first down, run out by Mike Merriweather.
Kozar did a good job coming off his first 2 receivers. You'll see he's looking right and down the center of the field trying to find a receiver. There are none open, so he comes over here to Mack, who's just in a foot race with Mike Merriweather, and he gets the first down. Good read by Bernie Kozar.
Keith Willis with the wraps around Kozar as Bernie completed to the sideline. There's Mike Merriweather in his 6th year out of the University of Pacific. Well, they're calling it a 3rd down and 2. That's where the ball was bumped out of bounds as Merriweather was able to make that stop. And here is Mack, and he is short of the first down. Edmund Nelson and Brian Hinkle combining to make the stop.
I don't think Cleveland's going to make a living running at the middle of this Pittsburgh defense today. Joe Green, their new defensive line coach, has taught the Steelers to play a little more aggressively in the middle. They did a great job against San Francisco last week. I think Cleveland's going to have to throw the ball more often and run wide to get anywhere with the Steeler defense.
And Jeff Gossett punting it out of bounds. Jeff Gossett had an odd game last week. Did not punt at all against New Orleans. And he's hearing it from the crowd. Timeout has been called. We'll be back in a moment.
I got it.
Great ideas don't always arrive between 9 and 5, so IBM is introducing...
The boss will love this.
...the smallest, lowest price Personal System 2.
Distribution, of course. Why didn't you think of that?
With the power and advanced graphics to help you take care of business...
That was inspired.
...anytime.
Uh-huh. Right. I'll sleep on it.
The newest member of the IBM Personal System 2 family at your IBM authorized dealer.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
What's the longest lasting battery you can buy? I'm gonna surprise ya! New Energizer! Say I'd surprise ya! New Energizer! It's up to test! New Energizer was best! Lasted longer than all the rest! Too right! New Energizer! New Energizer! It'll surprise ya! It'll surprise ya!
Laboratory tests prove in most devices, Energizer lasts longer than any other battery. New Energizer. Aye.
An American tradition continues when the Tigers face the Blue Jays or the Cardinals meet the Cubs. The memories are waiting next Saturday.
The Cleveland Stadium ground crew out to patch up the field. You will see this throughout the day. We mentioned the sloppy playing conditions. It did rain during the week, and there was a Pink Floyd concert on Wednesday and Thursday nights. I know Joe got into town early for that one. Caught them both. Unbelievable. Poor punt by Gossett, 28-yard punt. That prompted the reaction from the crowd. So the Steelers first down from their 27-yard line. Ernest Jackson had it jarred loose. And it was recovered, but a loss on the play. Carl Hairston able to make the stop.
Carl Hairston made the stop, but what Cleveland just did was put in another lineman, a big lineman on that side to help out Hairston. There you see number 60, Al Baker, coming in there also. So Cleveland's concerned with this Pittsburgh trapping game up the middle, and they've gone to the 4 big linemen already.
And Ernest Jackson has fit right into that trapping game out of the pages of Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier. That's the Steelers style. 2nd and 10. And Malone. And finally, when he had the time, and then able to complete. Beautiful catch by Lewis. Lips tripped up by Frank Minifield. A 14-yard advance and a first down for the Steelers.
Well, the key to this play being successful is the offensive pass protection. The offensive line does a wonderful job of protecting Mark Malone, as you see. Louis Lips made a nice fake inside and slipped to the outside. Anytime a quarterback has that much time to shop around, he's going to find an open receiver. Here you see number 50, Lucius Sanford. Looks like he doesn't quite know where he's going to get in position.
Lucius in the starting lineup today because of the problems the Browns have had on the left side. First down at the 43-yard line. Frank Pollard is hit for the loss. Reggie Camp, number 96. Getting the congratulations from his teammates. Reggie Camp, who made it back last season from a foot injury, made it back with 7.5 sacks.
Here you'll see Reggie come from the right of your screen all the way across here, make a nice tackle. He pulled. You see, he was able to shoot through the gap of the pulling guards that time. That's why he got in the backfield. Reggie's quick getting off the ball.
A loss of 3. 2nd down and 13. Now Mike Junkin, the rookie from Duke, #1 draft pick, is in that linebacker set. No score halfway through this first quarter. Confusion by Malone, and he's hit down for the loss. Chris Rockins will get credit. What happened here?
Well, I wouldn't put the blame on Malone. It looked like number 34, Abercrombie, just didn't go the right way. See, he's waiting to get the ball to number 34, Abercrombie. He doesn't come across there, so Mark has to eat the ball. Again, Cleveland mixed up the defense that time, and they went to a form of the Chicago Bear 46 defense. They're giving Pittsburgh some different looks.
So it will be a 3rd down and 19 back at the 34-yard line. That is not credited as a sack, a loss of 6 on the play from Malone. Couldn't find anyone, now does, and it's deflected for the interception by Rockins. So the Browns take over. Chris Rockins on the interception, and Cleveland will get it at the 40-yard line. Pass intended for John Stallworth. 6:18 left in this scoreless first quarter.
When that clock strikes 6:30, babe, time to head for Golden Lights. It's a good time for a great taste dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
The advanced new Chevy half-ton is all new. Ford isn't. And the advantages stack up. Chevy gives you new 2-tier loading. Ford doesn't. More 2-sided galvanized steel. A bigger, heavier frame. And on top of it all, more standard power with Vortec V6. Want a load of new features? Test drive the first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade.
The heartbeat of America.
The advanced new full-size Chevy.
That's today's Chevy truck.
No better value? Right. You get the newest 386 technology in our Tandy 4000 at an incredible price.
386 technology?
Yes, it's faster, more powerful, and it runs today's MS-DOS and tomorrow's OS2 software.
What about desktop publishing?
It's easy. With our laser printer, the Tandy 4000 gives you professional results every time.
I see. Better value.
Tandy Computers, because there is no better value. Only at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
An unprecedented week-long journey through China begins Friday on NBC News.
Well, Joe, Mark Malone picked off for the first time this season. Despite the poor stats last week, he was not intercepted.
Mark's a smart passer. Here, Hanford Dixon makes this play. Watch him. He'll tip the ball. Number 29 tips it in the air. And that's what allowed Chris Rockins to make the interception. You have to give a lot of credit to Hanford Dixon for that one.
And the Cleveland Browns, for the first time this season, starting a drive beyond their own 20-yard line. Completely handcuffed last week by New Orleans. First down from their 40. Kevin Mack. Stopped by the inside linebacker, David Little.
Okay, I can see a misdirection play working today. The footing's not too good. They started the linebackers moving in one direction to the right, and then he cut back to the, or rather to the left, and he cut back to the right. That's a good play to use on weather like this, misdirection type run.
And it's a 2nd down and 6 at the 36-yard line. No score, 5:45 left in this opening quarter. 86 Brennan in motion, 2nd back coming through Biner. Very short advance. David Little on the stop. And And there is Chris Rockins, who came up with the interception a moment ago. Last season in the first meeting against Pittsburgh, came up with a critical fumble recovery. A 3rd down and 3.
There's Hanford Dixon, number 29. He was the reason for that interception. He got his hand in there and tips the ball in the air.
And it plays very aggressive bump and run. 3rd down 3 at the 33. As the Browns go slot right. And Kozar is walloped. And it was picked off. Mike Merriweather. And a most unusual play, caught the deflection off the lineman's back. Mike Merriweather, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, coming up with another big play.
Big play by Merriweather, and you'll see Brian Hinkle very alertly catches the ball in midair. Bernie Kosar looks like he's just shopping around a bit too long, holding the ball a little bit too long. You'll see him get set back there. He has time to throw the ball now. Now he has time, and he just doesn't get it off. Brian Hinkle, Jack Lambert feels, is the best outside linebacker Pittsburgh's had since he's been there. Or since Andy Russell, actually.
And a 1st down at the 45-yard line. Here's Malone. Nice catch. John Stallworth on the reception inside the 35-yard line, an advance of 23. Al Gross, the free safety, on the tackle.
That's beautiful. I love that. Play action, freeze the line, freeze the linebackers. The linebackers can't get deep enough to break this play up. Gives the quarterback all day long to throw the ball in there. 1st down play action pass is really a good weapon, especially when you have a good running attack.
So the big play by Merriweather, who was all over Kosar, and it was Brian Hinkle who picked it off. And here are the Steelers on the move. 1st down at the 33. 82 Stallworth peeling off. And it's Abercrombie turning the corner. Eddie Johnson, the inside linebacker, along with Ray Ellis, running Abercrombie out of bounds. Advance of about 3. It'll be a 2nd down and 7. Just under 4 minutes to go in this 1st quarter. Steelers and Browns on no score. Series that dates back 38 years. Cleveland has won 5 straight over Pittsburgh and Cleveland. The Steelers' last victory here was back in 1981. Last year, Cleveland won both games, including a Cleveland victory here in overtime last November. Abercrombie to the right now with good blocking, and has the 1st down. Walter Abercrombie run out by the outside linebacker Lucius Sanford, along with Ray Ellis. 11 yards on the play.
11 yards on the play. Watch number 86, Preston Gothard. He stays with his man. You'll see Ernest Jackson come in to help out with the blocking. Terrific blocking by the 2 Pittsburgh Steelers.
And Lucius Sanford able to stay with Walter Abercrombie. Got him out of bounds, but a 1st down at the 18-yard line at Pittsburgh. Threatening. Straight up the middle play for Ernest Jackson. Ernest Jackson, a man who's been around in '84 with San Diego, ran for a team record 1,179 yards, then traded to Philadelphia for a 4th and 8th round pick. Ran for 1,000 with the Eagles. Did not get along with head coach Buddy Ryan and was cut, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, and it was purely because he and Buddy didn't see eye to eye.
2nd down and 8. Down at the Cleveland 16. Abercrombie and Jackson are the setbacks. Along with the time, Abercrombie with the catch and bumped out. Chris Rockins hitting him out down at the 12-yard line. So pickup of 4 on the play. It'll be a 3rd and 4 for the Steelers.
Abercrombie makes a nice grab here. Mark Malone, who's not known for his being consistently accurate, throws the ball behind him a little bit here. You'll see the receiver has to turn, but he still gets a handle on it. A nice catch.
Now Lips comes to the right side. for this 3rd and 4. No score, 3 minutes left, first quarter. Alone for the end zone and almost picked off. He threw it in a crowd, and Ray Ellis, the strong safety, nearly came up with the intercept. John Stallworth, the intended receiver. Check this out, coming right at you.
Oh, this is the kind of play a coach just wants to chew a quarterback out. Mark's looking all the way at the receiver. Free safety has all the time in the world to get it. Should have been interception, and it could have been run back all the way for a touchdown. A very poor decision on Mark Malone's part to throw in the middle that time.
And so a field goal attempt coming up for Gary Anderson, who last week had a big day against San Francisco. And this one is no good from 29 yards away. Gary Anderson last week hit from 50, from 41, and from 44, but right here missed from 29.
How does the advanced new Chevy half-ton stand up to Ford? Chevy gives you more standard power than Ford, more cab room, more shoulder room, more two-sided galvanized steel, new two-tier loading, and a bigger, heavier frame. So how does Ford stand up to the first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade?
Not very well.
The heartbeat of America.
Test drive it.
That's today's Chevy truck.
The years have passed, we face the task. Those boys I called my men. I wonder, could the ties we made now join us once again?
Let American Airlines Super Savers take you to the special moments in your life.
The feelings we all share. We're American Airlines, something special in the air.
This evening, Ken Edwards had a vision of the future. Not of time travel or cities in space, but of his family. His daughter practicing law. His wife heading her own business. Himself retired, writing detective stories. This evening, Ken Edwards had a vision of the future and knew what it would take to get him there. Daddy! Plans for investments and protection from the equitable. We have great plans for you.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Patriots battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
There's Gary Anderson, who happens to be the NFL's all-time leader in career field goal accuracy at 77%, but misses from 29 yards away.
He just pulled the ball, Marv. You'd think the field conditions could have hurt him, but it was a good snap, a good placement. He didn't slip. He simply pulled the ball too far left.
And the Browns take over, first down from their 20, just under 3 minutes to go. In this first quarter, Steelers and Browns are scoreless. Hozar to throw, first down, swings it out. Kevin Mack out to the 25-yard line, so it will be a second down and 5. Walter Payton scoring for the Chicago Bears for that 7-0 lead over Tampa Bay. And San Francisco trailing again, coming off the loss to the Steelers last week. Dan Marino throwing a 20-yard touchdown pass. And look at New Orleans jumping in front of Philadelphia. It's a second and 5 at the 25-yard line. Browns coming out of the eye. Nice hole for Biner. And Biner has the first down out at the 33-yard line. Ernest Biner, who last week ran for only 45 yards on 10 carries, but also caught 8 passes against the Saints.
You see a nice hole here on the cutback. Again, the cutback type running is going to work today. You get the defenders going one way, it's very difficult for them to stop and get back in the other direction because of the footing.
Cleveland first down from their 33. A minute and a half left. First quarter with no score. And flags are thrown. So the play whistle dead. Kevin Mack on the handoff.
30-second count delay.
And yes, a delay of game call on the Browns.
And that's one for the coaches. Normally, when you have a delay of the game with teams that send their plays in and out or signal the plays in and out and they get a late start, you have to point the finger at your coaches. Get the play in here faster, coach.
Second penalty called on Marty Schottenheimer's Cleveland Browns. First down and 15. Back at the 28. Mack and Biner are the running backs. Kozar going the middle and able to complete out at the 44-yard line. Webster Slaughter covered by Delton Hall, and it's a 17-yard pass play. They spot it just inside the 45. And here is a shot from the SeaWorld airship piloted by Captain Mike Fitzpatrick of Newport, Rhode Island. The camera operator Bob Michelson of Potomac, Maryland. Joe will be scouting the game in the second half from this location.
With a parachute.
First down at the 45-yard line. 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. Play action for Kozar. Goes short range. Underthrough. Intended for Mack. 67 is Gary Dunn, 11-year man out of the University of Miami. Always delighted to go up against the center Mike Babb.
Yes, but you see they still have to use two guys trying to occupy Dunn, and that's what the defense needs, a nose tackle that will occupy more than one offensive man. Joe Green calls this young man the stabilizing force of his defense.
Second and 10 at the 45-yard line. 17 seconds left now in this opening quarter. Kozar goes short range for Mack with everyone covered, and Mack making a little bit more out of it. Wayne Woodruff ran him out. There's Woodruff. Came up with an interception against the 49ers last week on the first possession of the game. And as you see, down to 8 seconds left in this first quarter, it will be a third down and 3 at the 48. A lot of football people say that Bernie Kozar does not have the proper mechanics, throw sidearm, three-quarters, through his legs, over his head. He can do it from any number of positions. Does it, though, by reading defenses and very effective at making changes right at the line. Now looking at a third down and 3. And completes again to Slaughter for the first down. Picked up 8 on the play.
Slaughter runs the same pattern that he made the completion on the last time, just a little slanting pattern across the middle. Bernie picks him up, gets the first down.
So Webster Slaughter combining once again with Bernie Kozar. That's the end of the first quarter. No score here in Cleveland.
It's not too late to do something about the Vietnam War. See Platoon and understand. See Platoon on video soon.
Hi. Great day today, huh? Wait for a friend. I got this picnic planned. I told her I got just the recipe. Hey, I'm an 80s kind of guy. Even brought the Natural Light, the beer with a taste for food. Today, it's gourmet all the way. The works.
Hi.
Hi. No, here comes the caterer now. 2 dogs, the works. Nothing's too good for my gal.
Yeah, all natural, less filling. It's Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch.
Well, you're quite the chef.
Yeah.
Here comes the dessert.
It's perfect. What a day.
Water damage is going to run $750. What would have stopped it?
Thompson's Water Seal protects wood, brick, and concrete with its special waterproofing formula. Thompson's Water Seal, a great defense against repair expense.
Joe, I know you were talking earlier with new defensive line coach, Mean Joe Green, a close personal friend of yours from your playing days, and he has a new technique that he's been teaching the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, he does, and it's going to help their rushing defense. See, the Steelers in the past have been putting their arms on the offensive blockers, reading the running plays, and then going to the ball. Joe Green believes in getting your head in there as well as getting your hands on the offensive player. This gives you more thrust, more drive, and it gives the defensive lineman more push. Boom!
Good,
right
nice.
in there, Mark.
Yes, the folks in the truck saying, show it. Thank you very much, yes. All right, back to the field as we get underway here. Second quarter. They wanted you to wear a helmet, really.
There's Joe Green right there, Hall of Famer.
And it was 4 Super Bowl rings. 3rd down and 3 at the 40. No score as we start the second quarter. And Kosar is hit down. Bernie Kosar facing the Steeler rush. First sack of the day. A combination of Edmund Nelson, the right defensive end, and Brian Hinkle, the outside linebacker. Bernie Kosar and head coach Marty Schottenheimer not pleased with one particular in the grasp and control sack that was called against the Browns. Was penalty refused. Illegal motion penalty call, though, which was declined. Controversial call against the Browns off the within the grasp last week.
Here you see from the right, you've seen Keith Willis is going to beat Cody Risen from this side, and then of course on the other side Ricky Bolton lets his man get in there to make the tackle also. Good pass rush that time. Number 64, Frank Winters, got back there for Pittsburgh.
Bolton the left tackle and Risen the right tackle. 2nd down 18 at the 48. Some movement and another marker down as Kosar goes deep, has an open man. But it is incomplete. Weathers not able to hold on. Clarence Weathers, who barely made the squad last Sunday, caught a 7-yard touchdown pass. His only reception of the game, could not hold on. A flag thrown, may well have been a free play for the Browns.
The offside, yes. 5-yard penalty. We'll play it down.
Keith Willis, the left defensive end, called on the offside, so if he had held on, would have been a free play, would have held up.
Yes, it would have held up, but that was a good hit by Thomas Everett, the defensive back, to knock the ball loose.
Now the ice cube has come on as a 4th receiver, Gerald McNeil, who goes on a good day 5'7", 147. Browns intend to use him more frequently from the receiver position. 2nd down and 13. And McNeil is running the pattern deep down the right side. It is incomplete. Brian Brennan, the intended receiver. McNeil a bit more downfield, but he went shorter with Brennan, who was covered by Woodruff.
Soft zone by Pittsburgh this time. This would have been a completion, and that, well, he just didn't hold on to the ball. It's a good pass by Bernie Kosar. Brennan normally holds those passes. He's their clutch receiver over the last 3 or 4 years.
And has been their leading receiver. Kosar 6 for 10. 54 yards, has a 3rd and 13 at the Steeler 43. We're early second quarter, no score. Kosar getting the time and able to complete. Langhorne with the first down. Let's see where they spot it. 13-yard pickup. Needed 13 for the first down, but it is close to the marker, and they are calling for the yardsticks. Hinkle making the stop on Reggie Langhorne.
Langhorne comes from the right side of your screen. He's right there in the middle now, you see, and Mike Merriweather just can't get over there to make the play on the football. It's an open area in between the 2 linebackers, about 12 yards deep. And that's where Langhorne went that time.
It is just short, inches. And the Browns will go for it. Tim Manoa, the rookie from Penn State, has come on. He looked very good last week. Had an excellent preseason. Young man who grew up in Pittsburgh. So Manoa, with pass catcher out of the backfield, lined up in the eye. Minor in motion, second back. Kevin Mack coming up with the first down and some additional yardage. Hilton Hall on the tackle.
Good hole on the right side of the Cleveland Brown line. Mack nearly breaks it all the way. It was good offensive blocking that time.
Mack going for 16 yards on the play. Head coach Marty Schottenheimer going for the 4th and inches. And a first down for Cleveland at the Pittsburgh 16. Now Mack and Biner in the backfield out of the eye. Second back coming through Biner. It's inside the 15-yard line. Robin Cole, the inside linebacker, on the tackle of this man, Ernest Biner. Last year, similar to Kevin Mack, he was hit by injury, sprained his ankle in week 7, never the same, and dropped down from that 1,000-yard season of 2 years ago. And now Biner being joined by Manoa once again. Manoa lined up in front of Biner, 2nd and 7 at the 13. Kozar going end zone, incomplete. Intended for number 84, Webster Slaughter, covered by Delton Hall. It will be a 3rd down and 7 from the 13-yard line. Last Sunday, the Browns, with that disappointing outing, losing at New Orleans. New Orleans running for 191 yards against Cleveland, led by Reuben Mays. And heavy pressure led to 4 sacks of Bernie Kosar, including 2 safeties. Kosar now looking at 4 receivers on this 3rd and 7. Off the roll. Can't find anyone. He could not find anyone, and he's run out at the 11. Willis and Woodruff running him out.
The reason he couldn't find anyone, Pittsburgh played a 3-man rush with an 8-man zone. Now, the reasons that's tough down here, you only have 20 yards of the field to cover from the 10-yard line in the end zone. So there's not a lot of room to throw the football when you have 8 defenders standing back there with only 20 yards to cover.
And Jeff Jager, who last week against the Saints missed from 49, actually was blocked. Gossett will hold, and this will be a 29-yard attempt. His first field goal in the National Football League from the same spot that Gary Anderson missed in the first quarter. 3-0, the Browns.
There are about 20 small sedans to choose from out there. But if you're looking for the best value, you can stop right here. The new Mazda 323 SE has a bunch of technical sophistication like fuel injection, a list of standard features that just won't quit, all backed by the best warranty in its class. I'm not kidding. You've got to check out this Mazda 323.
A better economy car value comes from our intense commitment to your total satisfaction. That's the Mazda way.
Okay. All right. I just want to say I'm glad our friends from marketing and accounting can be here with us to share this.
Yeah, they're eating all our cake, too.
I know for some of you, I'm just the guy who chose the computers. But what I am proud of is how we've helped each other. Now, everything that Fran's bean counters do helps us. And ditto for Kelly's people in research. But what's important is, it's not just the 3 B's that make us smarter. We make us smarter. Did you see the paper this morning?
Yeah.
This is why we did what we did.
All right.
Why we made the choices we made. Tomorrow, I leave for the West Coast office. They're back where we were a year ago. Now, I hope they're as good as you guys.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda, bringing performance and value together. That's the Mazda way. By the Stanley Works. Stanley helps you do things right. And by Tandy Computers, because there is no better value, only at Radio Shack.
Marv Albert with Joe Namath from Cleveland Stadium, SRO, a crowd of 80,000 to check out what has been a heated rivalry over the years. Cleveland and Pittsburgh, 29-yard field goal by this man, Jeff Jager, getting set to kick off to Lupe Sanchez. And a good kick. His kickoffs have been excellent, so the Steelers will come out to the 20-yard line. A 14-play drive by the Browns that began at their 20-yard line, resulting in the field goal by Jager, who holds the NCAA all-time field goal mark with 80. A right-footed soccer-style kicker. Apparently a flag was thrown on the kickoff.
And the kicking team offside. To the interior people. 5-yard penalty and we'll re-kick.
And they will re-kick. Jaeger says that at the University of Washington, 70% of his kickoffs were not returned. He's keeping individual stats.
Here's Marty Schottenheimer. Of course, his brother Kurt Schottenheimer to the right of the screen. You can barely see him. There he is. That's Kurt. He's the special teams coach. I know they're not happy about having guys line up offsides. Kurt does a very good job with the special teams, but doesn't want to see him get offsides. They would have had Pittsburgh back at the 20. I think Pittsburgh could very well get better field position this time.
So Jaeger now will kick from his 30-yard line. Round 3, and the Steelers nothing. We're early second quarter. Pittsburgh Steelers went 0-4 in preseason, and last Sunday come up with a surprise, beating the San Francisco 49ers. Another good kick. Sanchez from his goal line to the 10. Stumbled. There's that tough footing, and he lost his balance momentarily, and he's hit down just inside the 20-yard line.
Sure, Cleveland gained a yard on the re-kick. There's young Kurt Schottenheimer on the sidelines. He gets pretty excited about these special teams. Knowing Kurt, I think he'd like to be out there wearing a helmet and shoulder pads. Look at him. Go get him, Kurt. Yes, sir. Hey, he is getting out on the field. I don't know if that's legal. That's 12 players, huh?
And he was pleased when Rockins brought down Sanchez. Pittsburgh first down at the 19 as Malone looks it over. That's the tight end 86, Gothard, lining to the left. Ernest Jackson. 3-yard advance by Jackson's quick running back, not fast, does not have breakaway speed, but he is perfect in that Pittsburgh quick trapping offense, has that hard low running style.
Very strong, and again Cleveland has gone to the 4-man front, something like the 46 defense. That last play, I believe Malone audibleized to go away from the strength, but they're running this defense to try and slow down that Pittsburgh trapping game up the middle.
And Mike Junkin is in for this series once again. Junkin, the #1 draft pick, the rookie out of Duke. Short setup by Malone. Threw a bullet intended for Lewis Lips. Frank Minifield, the captain of the dog pound here in Cleveland. Minifield and Dixon, the cornerbacks, like to bark at the wide receivers. I know something you would have appreciated as a player to have some of the defenders barking at you. You would have handled that real well, Joe, I'm sure.
I'd have barked right back at him.
It's a 3rd down and 6. Merrill Hodge, good-looking rookie out of Idaho State, came up with a big reception last week against San Francisco, has come on. Good protection, and it is caught. Nice catch. Number 89, Charles Lockett, the rookie from Long Beach State, on a 16-yard pass play. Charles Lockett, 21 years of age, the youngest player on the Steelers.
Malone's smart. He can read the defenses pretty darn good. Here he comes all the way back to where he has single coverage on with actually number 23, Mark Harper. It's the only place on the field that had one-on-one coverage that time, and Malone picked it out.
So Mark, who heard the taunts from the crowd last week in Pittsburgh, off to a good start at 4 of 8. 60 yards, has a first down at the 40. And Jackson gets the call. Picked up a yard on the play. It'll be a 2nd down and 9. Up front, Steelers with Craig Wolfley and Tunch Ilkin at the tackles. Ilkin back in the lineup, sat out last week because of a sprained back and the flu. So Buddy Idolette filled in. John Rienstra and Terry Long are the guards. Mike Webster is the center. 2nd and 9 from their 41. Penalty marker down. And Malone puts on the brakes. Did not want any part of Reggie Camp. And here's Gene Barth. A lot of arm waving by the Browns. What was going on there?
Well, they were
57
confused.
defense called timeout before the snap. Cleveland timeout.
They didn't have the defense for that formation. They may have even been a man short on the field. I'm not sure about that. Or even if, in fact, he did call timeout. the quarterback on the defense that gives the signals can be yelling to his team. Possibly the official construed that as a timeout. It wasn't intended that way by the Browns.
Quite a bit of arm waving. It's the linebacker Mike Johnson. He and fellow linebacker Eddie Johnson heated up. Marty Schottenheimer just trying to cool things down.
Correction. They did not call a timeout. It was misunderstanding. It was a defensive signal. So there's no timeout. We're going to replay the down.
Interesting. Replay the down.
On the top left of your screen, you'll see the defensive player putting his fist together very quickly, and the officials inferred that as a timeout.
And from the officials' point of view, they're very fortunate that the play did not develop, so there was no harm, and the Steelers then can't accept it. Had Malone completed for a long gainer, Chuck Noll would be going wild because, as you saw, Malone put the stop sign on. So it is a do-over. 2nd down and 9. Now Malone with time. It was deflected, incomplete. Stallworth, the intended receiver. Now Tunch Ilkin on the sideline. He has gone back to the bench. He did start the ball game, was in there for a while, and Buddy Idolette has come back on. Tunç Ilkin out of Istanbul, Turkey. Hurting that back. Sat out last week with the sprained back injury. 3rd down and 9. And Malone able to complete to Hodge. Merrill Hodge, the 10th round draft pick from Idaho State, picking up the 1st down, a 14-yard pass play. And Malone is getting the time.
The key to any successful passing attack is affording the quarterback time to pick out a receiver and get to him. And here Pittsburgh does a wonderful job of blocking. This Merrill Hodge is a fine receiver. That's one of the main reasons he made this football team as a rookie.
Came up with that 27-yard catch in the 2nd quarter on a 3rd down play, which led to a touchdown last week. Picked up the 1st down at the 45-yard line. Jackson to his right. Driving run by Jackson, getting inside the 40. The strong safety Ray Ellis on the tackle.
Last week, both of Cleveland's safeties had to make 10 tackles apiece. Anytime that's happening. Here you see Sanford getting handled pretty good right there by Buddy Idolette. Sanford was the man that's supposed to have that outside containment, and he didn't get out there. Good blocking by Buddy Idolette.
Sanford, the one-time Buffalo Bill, signed as a free agent back in July after the Bills released him. 2nd down and 3. And Jackson could not make the move. He tried a stutter step, but the Browns with the wraps around him, led by Al Bubba Baker, recent addition to the squad, acquired from the Cardinals 2 weeks ago in his 10th year out of Colorado State. There he is.
Right, this play, it's designed to go inside, folks. It's not designed to go outside. The hole was inside Bubba Baker, but he played off the block. There was nothing inside, and the back tried to take it outside and ran right into the big Baker.
3rd down and 7. At the 42-yard line of Cleveland. Malone in trouble. A sack specialist. There, recall he had that 23 sack season as a rookie, among the NFL's top sackmen, among active players, and he comes up with it.
You'll see Al Baker come in there and put the pressure on, but actually Hanford Dixon's the man that causes them to leave the pocket, number 29 on the right of your screen. There's Al Baker. He's having a good game today.
So Dixon on the blitz, leading to the sack and a punting situation. That's the ice cube, Gerald McNeil. He is back at his 12-yard line, awaiting the punt from Harry Newsom. And it's a delay of game against the Steelers. 30-second clock expires.
Delay of game, violation of the 30-second count. Still 4th down, 5-yard penalty.
Chuck Noll watching as his punter Harry Newsom has to drop back 5 yards. Harry Newsom just did get it off at a beauty. Here's McNeil. The 50-yard punt. A flag has been thrown. Gerald McNeil, who last year returned a kickoff for 100 yards and a touchdown against Pittsburgh, able to avoid the first attempted tackle. Offside the call against Pittsburgh.
Well, it's an offside penalty. I can't explain. Understand that. That's inexcusable. If it was an illegal receiver downfield before the punter punted the ball, I could understand it because it was a high snap, you see, and he didn't punt the ball with his normal rhythm. So you tend to have one of your defenders going downfield too early.
Number 20, offside of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty,
Offside.
still 4th down.
And that's Stone. He's the fastest man out there. He doesn't need to jump offside. White Stone, the rookie. I don't know what Coach Schottenheimer's trying to get across out there, but he's rather animated.
So Newsom once again, this time from his 22. Again the snap off the mark. And again a good punt. McNeil again avoids the attempted tackle. Has an opening, but was tripped up by his own man. And finally is covered by a Steeler. He's upset because he could have been bye-bye. Hardy Nickerson making the stop. Couple of bad snaps. Buddy Idolette is the long snapper for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 53-yard punt and a good return by McNeil.
Yeah. Harry, Kalamazoo Tuesday, I can do that. Memphis Wednesday, I can do that. New York Thursday, I can do that. How am I going to do that?
No matter where you do business, Northwest can fly you there.
High-performance luxury sedans traditionally ask you to pay a pretty dear price. Well, that's not the Mazda way. Mazda's all-new 929 has world-class luxury appointments. It's amazingly quiet, solid riding, and actually outperforms those guys. Now there's less standing between you and a car this good. About $8,000 less.
A better luxury car value like this comes from our intense commitment to your total satisfaction. That's the Mazda way.
Thanks, John. To prepare the perfect round roast, you need the help of an expert. Miss, how do you cook one of these things? I've got some potatoes and some Natural Light, the beer with a taste for food, and some candles.
Yeah, all natural, less filling. It's Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch.
Okay, I open the Natural, I preheat the oven. Now, is that the thing with the flip-down door?
Yeah.
I can't handle this alone.
I don't think you can either.
Your face takes enough abuse, so you need the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. Its Lubra-Smooth strip is designed to reduce irritation, so shaving feels so good. Good News Plus.
An American tradition continues when the Tigers face the Blue Jays or the Cardinals meet the Cubs. The memories are waiting next Saturday.
Check out the scoreboard. Bears now in front 14-3. How about Green Bay over Denver on a Brent Fullwood 3-yard run. Cincinnati leading San Francisco as the Cleveland Browns off that 23-yard return on the punt take over. Flag has been thrown. The completion to Langhorne. But a marker is down. 11-yard pass play. Cole and Shell combined on Reggie Langhorne. 3-0. The Browns on top.
Illegal use of the hands, number 93 defense. 5-yard penalty, will tack it on to the end of the line.
Left defensive end called on the penalty. Looking mystified, I might say.
Yeah, how does a defensive end use his hands illegally? He must have put him to the face mask or up in the face area of the offensive blocker.
The Atlanta touchdown thrown by one-time Pittsburgh Steeler backup quarterback Scott Campbell. Houston over Buffalo. New Orleans in front of Philadelphia. First down at the 49-yard line. 5.5 to go in the second quarter. the fake. Ernest Biner. So Biner run out of bounds inside the 25, but again a penalty flag is thrown. Woodruff and Hall on the coverage. 30-yard pass play, but let's see what this call is about.
We had personal foul, defense on a face mask, number 78, penalty refused, first down.
So the personal foul is called. And there is the man who is called on the penalty, Tim Johnson, backup defensive end, the rookie from Penn State, wearing number 78. See if we can pick it up. So Tim Johnson called on the personal foul and a first down at the 23. Mack and Biner are the running backs. The short route to Mack. Breaking tackles, picked up 3 on the play. All right, we're set for an update. Let's go to Bob Costas at NFL Live.
Okay, Marv, you mentioned the Dolphin-Colts score of 10-7 Miami. Here's how it got that way. Dolphins leading 10-0. Gary Hogeboom, 17 yards to Matt Booza. Nice catch to close it to 10-7. The Colts have lost 13 straight to the Dolphins. Trying to snap that string. Marv?
All right, Bob, back in Cleveland. Sellout crowd, 80,000 on hand. And the Browns off a 29-yard field goal by the rookie Jager. Lead it 3-0. They have a 2nd and 6 at the Pittsburgh 19. Sanchez made the stop. Herman Fontenot, who happens to be a converted wide receiver, can do it out of the backfield, can do it from the wide receiver formation, throwing the pass to Kevin Mack for a 14-yard play.
Such a good offensive weapon when you have a running back that can throw the forward pass. Not many of them in the National Football League even can do this. What happens when a defensive back or linebacker sees that run action come to his side, naturally he's going to go up and get ready to make the tackle. That's when the running back sneaks by him. You drop it over his head for the completion.
So the Browns, 1st and goal from the 5. Manoa is back in at running back. It's the second back coming through Mack. And a short pickup and some extracurricular activity. Ernest Biner involved for the Browns. And the strong safety, Donnie Shell, now 35-year-old guy, should not get involved in these things, Joe.
I wonder how many of those little scuffles Donnie Shell's been involved with in his 14-year career in the National Football League. And he hasn't missed a step. Watch the right of your screen here. On the right of your screen, you see number 31, Donnie Shell, having a little shoving match with Ernest Biner. I don't know. You might have to give Donnie Shell the edge on that one, huh?
Gets it on the points. The fight doctor goes for Shell on the scorecard. 2nd and goal from the 3. Browns go full house backfield. That's Fontenot in motion. Kozar for the end zone. Broken up. Nice play. And it was the linebacker, Mike Merriweather, who got a piece of it. The pass intended for Fontenot.
Mike Merriweather very well. The quickest of these Steeler linebackers. Had he caught that, he would have gone 99 yards for a touchdown. It's a good defensive play, just getting a hand out there on the ball. Tough situation down here. Not much yardage to work with. The defense actually has an advantage in playing pass defense in this area of the field.
All right, 3rd and goal from the 3. What's your call?
Well, I would have to throw another pass. I don't think that they're going to be able to run the ball through this Steeler defense. What kind of pass? I don't know.
Thanks, Joe.
See, they don't know. They've got to talk it over.
Yes, timeout is called. And that is the first timeout called by the Cleveland Browns, with that earlier one erased. With the timeout, 3:43 left in this 2nd quarter.
Fans, please.
Mr. Garfield, welcome to Embassy Suites Hotel.
My room.
Oh, all our rooms are really 2-room suites for the price of a single room.
Beautiful. Don't change a thing.
The living room, sir.
Love what you've done with this room.
The bedroom.
this is great. I need my space.
And of course, you'll want to take advantage of Embassy Suites' free breakfast.
Food.
Served every morning.
At Embassy Suites, you don't have to be a fat cat to enjoy the sweet life.
I resemble that remark.
Stanley. We open doors all across America.
Doors that open wide and welcome you inside. That open up to your special day. Doors that get you on your way. Stanley doors for London nights that bring you in when it's warm and dry.
Stanley doors for the quality of your life.
Stanley helps you do things right.
There's only one way to appreciate Zenith's 27-inch stereo television with breathtaking sound by Bose. Go hear it. Zenith and Bose. Quality.
And there's never been a better time to go hear it than now. Just trade in your old TV at participating Zenith Bose dealers and get up to $200 off Zenith's 27-inch digital TV with stereo sound by Bose. Offer expires October 31st.
See what a busload of NBC stars did over the summer in an all-new movie. Hit it, boys. If it's Tuesday, it still must be Belgium. Monday. If you happen to be riding in a blimp over Cleveland Stadium, this is the view you might see. A sellout crowd here in Cleveland. Better than 80,000 on hand. A game that's been sold out since July. Marv Albert with Joe Namath. The Cleveland Browns in front of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3-0 on the 29-yard field goal by Jeff Jaeger. Mack and Manoa now, the running backs. 3rd and goal from the 3 for Kozar and the Browns. Long count. Kozar has it batted back, rejected, and a flag down. 2 flags, one in the end zone. David Little got the hand on it. There's Little, number 50. Flag at the line and one in the end zone, prompting the discussion. Kozar now 9 for 16 and 98 yards. Gene Barth, the president of an oil company back in St. Louis, handling the proceedings here this afternoon. Man who's obviously independently wealthy does not need us, Joe.
I think they're trying to figure out if, in fact, it was an interference call on Hall.
With this defensive holding, number 35, half the distance to the goal line and a first down.
Well, they called it on Dalton Hall. He wouldn't let the receiver get inside of him. You see number 35 there, and if you look at the very top left of your screen, you'll see Dalton Hall holding. Top left of the screen. There you are, right there. There where he pulls down to the ground, Ernest Biner.
A rookie from Clemson, Dalton Hall, called on the penalty. It sets up a 1st and goal at the 1. Again, the Browns full house. And the touchdown is scored. The touchdown by Kevin Mack. So the Browns in front by the score of 9-0. Kevin Mack, another Clemson man in his 3rd season in the NFL. Man who combined with Ernest Biner to form only the 3rd NFL backfield to produce 2 1,000-yard rushers. That was 2 seasons back. And here is the rookie from the University of Washington, Jeff Jaeger, attempting the extra point. Gossett the holder. And the Browns extend to 10-0. 3 minutes, 36 seconds to go in this first half. The Browns 10 and the Steelers nothing. Cleveland Browns down at the goal line have been going with all kinds of assortments. So this is a full house affair once again, and it is Mack taking it home.
Mack taking it home. I believe I could have gotten over that line.
Well, let's not get
really
crazy,
good blocking. Really good blocking by this Cleveland offensive line. Number 77, Bowden, makes a terrific block, driving the defender back across the goal line. Look at his block. He just smothered him.
7 plays, 66 yards, a drive that began back at the 34 in Cleveland territory. And they did it within 2 minutes, 24 seconds. 5 Kozar passes, couple of rushes. Chicago now in front, 14-3. Green Bay extends to 14-0. Cincinnati over San Francisco. Miami leading Indianapolis, and Washington, Atlanta tied at 7 in the second. Houston extending their lead to 17-6 over the Buffalo Bills. Jager getting set to kick off to Lupe Sanchez, who had a good day here in Cleveland last year, including a 58-yard kickoff return, but it is picked up instead by one of the up-men, Merrill Hodge. So the bouncing kickoff returned by Hodge. Only an 8-yard return, and with 3.5 to go in this first half. Well, Pittsburgh takes over at the 28.
Hodge is not a burner. But here you'll see the footing is just not as secure as your kicker would like it. You see the kicker fall down now because his left foot slipped out from underneath him. But the point I was trying to make is Merrill Hodge, number 33, in returning that kickoff, should have gone straight up the field, not laterally. He doesn't have good enough speed to go laterally.
Mark Malone with a first down from the Steeler 28-yard line. Abercrombie and Jackson, the running backs, some play action. And Malone throwing deep, and it's almost picked off. Al Gross, the free safety, in front of Charles Lockett, the intended receiver. Al Gross, man who injured his knee last year, lost his starting job at strong safety, now the starter at free safety.
And I think Mark's whistling Dixie here. He has 3 defensive backs back here waiting on the ball. That was a very poorly thrown pass and a very poor decision on Mark's depart.
2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. Mark Malone appears to be as good as the team around him, but not want to elevate a mediocre supporting cast. Able to complete right at the first down marker, and then was shoved back the other way. It's short of the first down. Lewis Lips making the reception. Mark Malone, though, has been bothered by an arm injury. Has several stitches that keep getting loose, which is not a pleasant thought.
Sure, in fairness to Mark, he has 9 stitches in that passing arm, and it does affect his passing somewhat, but the decisions that he makes and where to throw the ball isn't affected by those stitches.
3rd down and 1 at the 37. Pollard stopped short of the first down. Carl Hairston, the Browns' defensive captain in his 12th season out of Maryland Eastern Shore, able to make the stop.
Well, this is a big play. The Steelers really need to have this first down. Otherwise, momentum's certainly going to be on Cleveland's side, even more so.
They are calling for the yardsticks. Thus far in this first half, the Browns able to answer all the questions concerning stopping the running game of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They could not stop the Saints last week. And it is a first down, so the ball spotted. And it is a first down collected by the Steelers.
I think the reason that Cleveland is having more success defensively today is they have mixed things up a bit. They have the Steeler offensive people concerned with where their blocks are supposed to be. They're looking at different fronts and different linebackers. They're a bit confused.
First down at the 38. And Malone able to complete. Lewis Lips. And a flag throw. 11-yard pass play. And the call against the Browns.
5-yard face mask penalty on number 31. We're tacking on from the end of the run.
So the call against Minifield. It's a holding call against number 31, Frank Minifield.
Here you see Lips coming all the way from the middle of the screen, crossing the field way right. It's his own coverage, basically, and he's just crossing underneath the linebackers. And there you see the face mask. It's one of those I didn't mean to get your face mask job, so that's why I only got 5 yards.
And we'll be back right after these words.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents Legends of the Game. In a career that spanned 4 decades, this old warrior is perhaps best remembered as a kicker. But he led the NFL in pass completions in 1953 and the AFL from 63 through 65. Who was this legend?
In the past 2 years, 500,000 more Americans switched to Liberty Mutual for their auto, home, and life insurance. More Americans are living in homes, getting into cars. And for workers' compensation, more American workers are insured by Liberty Mutual than anyone else. Because Liberty Mutual people do the job right.
America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
With the Bears, Colts, Oilers, and Raiders, George Blanda's rifle-like arm and accurate toe made him a legend of the game.
Strenuous testing like this has led Mazda to have so much confidence in their cars and trucks that they've got a new bumper-to-bumper warranty for 36 months or 50,000 miles. I'd say that's doing things the Mazda way.
A better warranty like this comes from our intense commitment to your total satisfaction. That's the Mazda way.
Oh, it's not just human nature, this need to race the wind. But unfortunately, man cannot fly. Oh, but horses do.
John Stallworth to the sideline, suffered a sprained groin, may return in the second half. First down at the 45 for Pittsburgh with 2 minutes to go in this first half. Oh, hard hit on Lips. He was really jarred. Al Gross, the free safety, making the stop.
It was a good hit by Al Gross on Louis Lips. Mark Malone couldn't get enough on the football to get it there quicker, otherwise it had the completion. Reason being, Mark Malone ended up on his back that time. He took a very hard lick from Clay Matthews.
You know, the two cornermen who like to bark at receivers, Dixon and Minifield, say they've given up on Stallworth. He doesn't pay any attention at all. But Lips, they said, is still vulnerable. Though Lips says he's not going to listen anymore. He's not going to be distracted. At that time, distracted by the hit. 2nd and 10. And Malone hooks one downfield, and it is almost intercepted, intended for Lockett. And Gross with the bobble act, and nearly picked it off.
Well, this was a mix-up between Lockett and Malone that time. Malone was looking to hit Lockett on a quick slant pattern, but Lockett didn't read the defense and run the slant, so he ran the go pattern. He still had an opportunity to catch the ball here.
And it sets up a 3rd down from the 45. Now Lockett is to the right, and Calvin Sweeney has come on in the slot to the left. Cleveland 10, Pittsburgh nothing. Deep drop by Malone. And a nice pattern. Louis Lips has the first down. At the Cleveland 26, a 20-yard pass play. Lips tackled by Felix Wright. A timeout called by the Steelers. We'll be back in a moment.
As the years go by, I know I'll always have a friend. Just as long as you stand by me.
For over 100 years, friendships have been formed and kept over the quality beers of Anheuser-Busch.
Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Good blocking. The key to a successful pass offense is to have that offensive line give the quarterback time to throw the football. Louis Lips will come from right to left. You'll see him catch the ball in the middle of the field right here for a big gainer, big first down. You got to have that offensive line doing a job keeping the defenders away from the quarterback, and that's what they're doing.
Lipp's fourth catch of the day. He's caught the last 3 from Malone. Malone is now 8 for 16, 114 yards. A good first half, but nothing on the scoreboard. First down at the Cleveland 26. 30-second clock running down to 2 seconds. And Malone now in trouble, and the sack is picked up. Second time that he's been sacked, and it is Reggie Camp. Good pressure from Al Baker. There's Camp, number 96.
Well, we talk about the good protection, and then looks what happens. But here I see Malone get set. Right now, he's ready to throw the football. He's ready to throw the football. He can't find an open receiver. Good coverage downfield that time.
Coming up at halftime, scores and highlights on NFL Live. Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, Paul McGuire, Frank DeFord. That's just ahead at halftime. Minute 34 to go in this first half. Marv Albert, Joe Namath from Cleveland Stadium. And a reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion. Pittsburgh has 1 timeout remaining. Cleveland has 2 left. It'll be a 2nd and 20 for the Steelers when we resume at the Cleveland 36-yard line.
Pittsburgh can't afford to have another loss. They're already close to being too far out of field goal range for Gary Anderson.
Anderson missed earlier from 29. Jager hit from 29. And Malone going the middle. It's broken up. It appeared that Lips had it. And it was batted away, but a flag is thrown. They call against the right corner, Hanford Dixon, man who's made the Pro Bowl. Made it last year, coming up with 5 interceptions. So he is called on the penalty.
Big penalty. That gives Pittsburgh a first down as well.
And a first down at the Cleveland 31. A minute and 28 to go in this first half. Malone goes sideline and completes to Abercrombie. Breaking tackles. Abercrombie to the 22. Pickup of 9 on the play. Clock is running. Down to a minute 10. Chris Rockins made the stop. Pittsburgh try to go hurry up. Now Malone, incomplete, intended for Lockett. So now the clock is stopped, and it will be a 3rd down and 2. Hopper covering on the play. Mark Hopper, extra defensive back out of Alcorn State. As you see, Steelers with that 1 timeout left. Ernest Jackson to this point has been held in check by the Browns. 9 rushes, only 18 yards. Pittsburgh Steelers would love to get on the scoreboard going into the locker room. Being blanked here by the score of 10-0 by the Browns. And their running game has been stopped. Off the draw, big burst by Abercrombie, and he has the first down.
Good play, good play. That's what that play was designed for, to make sure they got the first down, and now they can line up quickly and get another play off. Hopefully, Pittsburgh was smart enough to call 2 plays in the huddle.
And a first down from the 18. Malone goes incomplete. Good coverage by Dixon on Sweeney. Calvin Sweeney, who missed last week because of a concussion suffered in a car accident. Sure-handed, what you call a possession receiver.
Yeah, I have to believe Mark Malone was going to Sweeney all the way that time, because the coverage was so good by Hanford Dixon. There was just no way he could get the ball in.
Lips to the right. Sweeney goes slot right. 2nd and 10 at the 18. 36 seconds to go in this first half. And the quarterback draw by Malone.
Good play. They're saying his knee hit the ground after only a few yards, though. They better hurry up and get the play run. They're wasting time right now.
And the ball is placed at the 14. That's where they said he went down. So here is Malone on 3rd down. Going end zone. A flag is thrown. A couple of Pittsburgh receivers in the area. Lips was there along with Sweeney. Minifield on the coverage. Steelers have picked up the 3 first downs on Brown's penalties.
Illegal contact. Number 31 defense. A 5-yard penalty and a first down.
So there's another one. Frank Minifield called on the contact. There's Minifield.
Here we see Frank Minifield on Lewis Lips. Now he's allowed to put his hands on him in a 5-yard area, but I believe they went past the 5-yard area before he took his hands away from him. He's allowed to chuck him within 5 yards, but not after the 5 yards.
6 penalties apiece on Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Cleveland, though, penalized for 40 yards off the 6. It is a 1st and 10 from the 10. And the crowd reacting with 11 seconds to go in the half. And let's see what the call is. Incomplete. Was trapped by Lips and then not able to hold on. Minifield on the coverage, and so with 7 seconds to go, the Steelers hope to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, well, you see the last play took 4 seconds. I don't understand why Pittsburgh doesn't try another quick pass play right here. They'd still have 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock to kick the field goal, but obviously Coach Knoll doesn't believe they can get another play run.
This is a 27-yard attempt. Anderson missed earlier from 29, a high snap, and it's good. So Gary Anderson with a 27-yard field goal with 4 seconds to go in this first half. And Cleveland now leads Pittsburgh by the score of 10-3.
Very important for Pittsburgh to get on the board at this time. It's going to give them some good momentum going in at halftime. Here you see Newsom take the snap. It's a little high, but he gets it down in good shape with the laces pointed in the right direction.
So the high snap handled by the punter, Harry Newsom. Mike Webster is the kick snapper. And the Cleveland Browns over the Pittsburgh Steelers now by the score of 10-3. Steelers starting this drive back at their 28-yard line. Consumed quite a bit of time, 3.5 minutes, 15 plays, 63 yards.
And you see, Marv, we do have 4 seconds left. It took 3 seconds to kick that field goal. I'm an ex-quarterback. I believe I could have gotten off a quick slant pass in the same amount of time, and you'd still have 2 seconds, 3 seconds left to kick the field goal.
Does that show lack of confidence on the part of head coach Chuck Knoll?
I believe it does.
The bouncer off the kickoff, handled by one of the upmen, and this will run it out. Fontenot running out the first half. So here in Cleveland, it's the Browns over the Steelers, 10-3 at halftime. We'll be back here in Cleveland right after we pause for these messages.
Each day in the United States, 71 people are killed in accidents involving drinking and driving. More than 25,000 lives are lost each year.
Here it's too late, not just for the driver who was drinking, but for those who weren't. I'm Gary Anderson of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and what you're seeing here is happening too often on our highways.
The message is simple. Don't drink and drive. And if you drink, designate a non-drinker to do the driving. Give the keys to someone that everyone can trust. And arrive alive.
These are the important messages the National Football League and the United Way and its agencies and programs are trying to get across. Now you can be part of the team. Don't drink and drive. The United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Cleveland Browns leading the Pittsburgh Steelers at halftime by the score of 10-3. A Jeff Jaeger 29-yard field goal. A Kevin Mack short plunge for the touchdown. It was 10-0 Cleveland. And then Anderson of Pittsburgh hitting from 27 yards away. And that's the story here in Cleveland. NFL Live's halftime activities just ahead. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Tonight, it's an all-new Family Ties.
It's hot off the press.
Last week, you made Family Ties America's #1 show. Then People Magazine calls My Two Dads the best new series of the season.
I think we're Father of the Year.
It's a great new night.
Come home tonight.
One never knows, does one, when luck will come along unexpectedly. Things can turn out right or wrong. One never knows.
The uncertainty of business. Ohio Bell's answer for it is the Centrex communication system with all the technology and flexibility you'll ever need. Centrex.
'Cause one never knows.
Okay. I think we just go up these stairs. The only time some people see me is sitting behind that anchor desk. But getting out from behind the desk is really one of the best parts of my job.
Can I shake your hand?
Sure. Getting out to schools and charity events, you get to know families. And explaining how the news affects people's lives is what makes Channel 3 News different. But to me, news means getting to know the community from both sides of that anchor desk.
She's the Sheriff, Tuesday night at 7:30 on Channel 3.
We welcome those of you watching the Steelers-Browns game. Bob Costas back with Ahmad Rashad and Paul McGuire in that game. The Steelers, with the late field goal, trail 10-3. They haven't won in Cleveland since 1981. Chicago has touchdowns from Walter Payton and his heir apparent as the Bears star running back Neil Anderson. Anderson's a 27-yarder. Payton a 1-yard plunge. It's 14-3 Chicago. All of these games that we're giving you now have reached halftime. The touchdown for Payton, his 107th rushing touchdown. It breaks Jimmy Brown's all-time record in that category. Green Bay surprising Denver at Green Bay 14-3. Let's take a look at some highlights from that game. This might be the story a week from now in the NFL. The stadium's left open to dogs with special talents. But in any case, Ricky Nattiel did not have a good time on the special teams for the Broncos on this play. He fumbles the punt by Don Bracken. It's recovered by Tiger Green of the Packers. One of 4 turnovers for the Broncos in the first half, and they capitalized, the Packers do, on the Brent Fullwood 3-yard touchdown for a 7-0 lead. The Pack's new quarterback is rookie Don Majkowski, a 10th-round pick out of Virginia. This is his first ever touchdown pass to Paul Ott-Caruth that gave them a 14-0 lead. Eventually, Denver got a late field goal to close it to 14-3. Cincinnati playing at home and giving San Francisco fits. 20-7 is the score at halftime. Boomer Esiason has a 47-yarder to Rodney Holman. Joe Montana accounts for the lone San Francisco score on a 38-yard throw to Mike Wilson. Now, the AFC Central has been tough on San Francisco. The Steelers beat them a week ago, and the Bengals are pounding them at halftime today. Paul?
Well, in order to throw the football, you must have protection up front. And Joe Montana just is not getting anything from his offensive line. He's got great receivers. He just can't get the ball to him.
You picked San Francisco to go to the Super Bowl along with a curious selection, Kansas City, last week.
Yeah, and so San Francisco was curious also. Well, after the strike is over with Bob, we may regroup.
All right. Let's move on to highlights of the game between the Dolphins and the, yeah, so much for Paul. The Dolphins and the Colts have lost 13 consecutive games to Miami. We go to the Hoosier Dome. Don Shula, the winningest coach in both Colt history and, of course, in Dolphin history. His team was in front 10-0 when Gary Hogeboom found Matt Bouza, who makes a nice catch to complete a 17-yard scoring play and make it 10-7. But back comes Dan Marino, who's already thrown 5 touchdown passes this year. On the receiving end of this one, the ever-versatile Jim Jensen, who's actually their 4th-string quarterback. He tumbles in. They miss the extra point, and the Dolphins lead 16-7 at halftime in that one. The Redskins and the Falcons reach halftime in Atlanta. Doug Williams, a 17-yarder to Kelvin Bryant. Scott Campbell for Atlanta, a 19-yarder to Floyd Dixon. They're even at 7. Houston playing at Buffalo. Buffalo, and before a packed house at Rich Stadium, it's the Oilers with a 17-13 lead on the road where they don't do well. Jerry Glanville hasn't been the coach all this time, but they have lost 33 of their last 36 road games. Second quarter, Drew Hill on the receiving end of the 2-yarder from Warren Moon made it 10-3 Oilers. And they've sacked Jim Kelly 4 times, including this one by Jeff Donaldson, separating him from his helmet and knocking them back to where they had to settle for a field goal instead of a touchdown. That made it 10-6. It became 17-6 when Mike Rozier, who had 70 yards in the first half alone, scored from 8 yards out. However, Kelly was able to come back and hit Rob Riddick just before halftime to cut it to 17-13 in favor of the Oilers. Bob,
I visited a training camp this summer, and the big story there was Mike Rozier. I think he had to play a couple of seasons back-to-back, and he really didn't play well last year, but now he is starting to take off just like everybody thought he would. And when he plays well, it takes all the pressure off of Warren Moon so he can get the ball out to Drew Hill and Ernest Givens.
A week ago in their comeback win against the Rams, Rozier had 93 yards. Believe it or not, that's his best ever in the NFL. He could be headed for a 100-yard plus today.
You know, he really looks like a different player all of a sudden. He looks like a bona fide star running back this year.
Okay, we have one more score to give you. Philadelphia has gone to halftime with a 17-10 lead at home against the Saints. The Saints led 10-0 after the first quarter on a Morton Anderson field goal and a Bobby Hebert touchdown pass, but the Eagles owned the second period. Paul McFadden kicked a 30-yarder, and then Randall Cunningham threw for 2 scores, one to Mike Quick, another to Kenny Jackson for the 17-10 edge. Stay with us. NFL Live will continue after these messages from your local stations.
The new season begins Tuesday.
When the clock strikes half past 6, babe, time to head for golden light. Hey, it's a good time for a great taste dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight.
Tonight's the perfect night for a Mac Tonight meal combo. You get a Big Mac, an order of world-famous fries, and an icy cold soft drink. It's one hot trio.
Dudley Moore, Monday at 9 on AM Cleveland.
Welcome back to NFL Live. I'm Bob Costas, and as always, at halftime, we're joined by Frank DeFord. And as you might suspect, his subject today, the impending NFL strike. As we all know, there are dozens of issues on the bargaining table. But as we also know, when you boil it all down, there's just one that remains of paramount importance, both practically and emotionally. Frank?
Free agency, of course, and every professional American sports league denies unqualified free agency. But the NFL is much more restrictive than either baseball or basketball. An arbitrator will hand down his decision tomorrow, judging whether baseball owners have been in collusion in these matters, and the NBA Players Association is demanding total free agency. By comparison, the NFL is in the 19th century. In any way, it is becoming more and more fashionable for constitutional authorities to maintain that it's downright un-American for any athlete to work where he doesn't want to. But in fact, professional athletes are not unique. In many specialized fields of employment, say the State Department, the choices are slim. And as the federal judge pointed out last year in the USFL suit, it's not the NFL's fault that it's the only football league around. Unlike baseball and unlike basketball, the NFL is not a true free market. All the teams share equally in television revenue. Sellouts are almost guaranteed because few games are played and it's a season ticket sport. Losers are not financially penalized, nor are winners rewarded. In baseball and in basketball, bad franchises suffer in the marketplace, and thus bad owners are driven out of the game. But in the NFL, failure is institutionally protected, and a player unlucky enough to be drafted out of college by someone like Irsay, Bidwell, or Rankin Smith is stuck forever, his whole career, in some pigskin black hole. And that is why, if anything, the NFL should naturally offer more, not less free agency. Limited free agency is nothing for competent franchises to fear. If after 4 years a football organization or a host community cannot convince a player that it's to his benefit to stay there, then that team really doesn't deserve to keep the young man. Now, some people say that Pete Rozelle should step in and help settle the mess. I say that the commissioner had almost 30 years to straighten out the constitution of the National Football League, to bring an essentially socialistic organization kicking and screaming into the free market. Limited free agency does not threaten the well-being of the league, especially in a sport where so many players are involved. It's nothing like basketball, where losing one star can turn a whole franchise upside down. In football, limited free agency can only threaten those organically incompetent franchises that cannot compete successfully on their own without Big Brother to help them. Well, that's the issue. With me is Stan White, who was on the executive committee of the Players Union in 1982 when the league had its strike. Stan, let's talk a minute about personalities. Gene Upshaw and Jack Donlin were both around in '82, Gene in a subsidiary role at that time. Do you think that Donlin's departure from the negotiations in 1982 brought on the settlement?
Oh, I definitely think you do. You need somebody at the table that has a stake. You got to remember, this is Jack Donlin's only job. This is a win or lose situation for him, and he's afraid to lose. There's nobody there that's really going to negotiate, give any give and take, and that's why when Dan Rooney got to the table and had some stake in the action, he wanted to get the thing resolved because the season was at stake. Can't you say that the same thing applies to Gene Upshaw? Well, not really, because Gene has to run the union for 5 years to the next bargaining agreement. He has to run the grievances. He's got 25% new players every year that he's got to re-educate. The owners are the same year in, year out. Is Upshaw at a disadvantage because, in effect, he's a rookie, at least in running the negotiations? Well, you could look at it that way, but really, he's been around a long time. He played for 16, 17 years. He was a president. He was a president also. He's in the union as an executive committee member before that, so he's paid his dues. He's been there. He knows where all the dead bodies are. The question of how faithful, how loyal the players will be when it really gets tough, when those contracts, the money doesn't come in. Do you believe that the players will remain faithful? Well, I do believe that. I think that I didn't believe it at first. I thought they were not nearly as intense as they were in 1982. But I think management has backed them up so far in the corner that they're going to fight. They've said to you, you can't go anywhere, you're not going to get any free agency, despite what the other sports have. Now they're going to got them in a position where they got to fight back, and they're going to stick together. There may be some defections, but when you got 1,500 players, you're going to have a few that are going to go their own way. If they do you think those players will receive the kind of retribution on the field that can be a little painful? Well, you'd like to think they wouldn't, but let's live in the real world. Of course there's retributions on the football field all the time for past acts against you that may have been years ago. You wait to get a guy back, and I'm sure that that'll happen if some of the players break ranks. Thank you very much, Stan. And stay tuned. Our halftime activities will resume in just a few moments.
And we welcome you back to Cleveland, where the sun is now shining brightly, although the lights are on here at Cleveland Stadium. Marv Albert, along with Joe Namath, a 10-3 Browns lead over the Steelers at halftime. What were your impressions of the first half?
Well, I was surprised with Cleveland's ability to stop the Pittsburgh rushing defense. Cleveland smartly employed the 46 defense with 4 down linemen, and that, for the most part, has shut down Pittsburgh's rushing game.
And the 46 defense means that there is a freelancer out there, and for the most part, it was the rookie out of Duke, Mike Junkin.
Mike Junkin, yes. What they do is they put a defensive player on the center and both guards and take away the middle of that offense for Pittsburgh to run, and they let Junkin move around and freelance. Yeah.
All right, the Steelers did have some opportunities earlier, and they did miss early from 29 yards away. The field goal attempt by Anderson off the mark, and we're talking about the most accurate field goal man in the NFL. He did click later on from 27 yards away, but this was critical at the start.
It was critical because Pittsburgh had the momentum going their way early in the game, and missing a field goal, which is considered a chip shot, is a rather demoralizing feeling.
However, the hero of the game in the first half may be a new device that is called the Sopper, named after Eugene Sopper. I'm told because of the poor field conditions here in Cleveland. This is an apparatus that is the natural surface version of the Zamboni, a giant sponge. So this is the debut of the Sopper. Our kudos to the head groundskeeper, David Fry. Things not getting tough for the impressionist David Fry. This is a different David Fry, it should be pointed out. This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, as we get set for the second half. And Glenn Young is back deep for the Browns receiving the kickoff out to the 10-yard line. Making his way to the 20, Glenn Young, in his 4th year out of Mississippi State. He led the AFC in kickoff returns 2 years back, running it back for 17 yards. Theo Young involved on that stop, so the Cleveland Browns to the offense across the 20-yard line. Malone 9 for 20 in the first half. Kozar 9 for 15. Mark Malone trying to bounce back from the 9 for 33 of a week ago. Ernie Kozar at quarterback. Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack are the running backs. And it's to the ground, a flag thrown. Mack going wide. And pulling his way, the Steelers thought he might head out of bounds. David Little took the hit from Mack. But a flag down. Little and Woodruff combining on the stop. Illegal motion at the snap called on the Browns. So that play will come back.
Illegal motion, 84 offense. 5-yard penalty.
All right, the call on Slaughter as we check out the halftime statistics.
Shows like it's an even game here, Marv. These stats are all pretty close, and of course the game is close. Had he made the first field goal attempt, we'd only have a 4-point game. But Pittsburgh's controlled the time, but got fewer of the points.
And Pittsburgh and Cleveland have controlled the running game. Neither team able to bust out in the first half.
Good defensive game.
1st and 15. The ball back at the 16-yard line. Herman Fontenot has come on once again. He's been a key guy here today. And it is Fontenot on the reception. But a short pickup. On the stop. Check of the baseball scores. Toronto in front of the Yankees, and Milwaukee leading Detroit going into today. Toronto a game and a half behind Detroit. And in the National League East, Mets over the Pirates. Philly leading Montreal. Cubs and Cardinals later on. The Expos suddenly a factor. Mets game and a half back. Montreal 2 games back. All over in the National League West, although not officially, but the Giants now just counting magic number. 2nd and 10 at the 21-yard line. A 5-yard pickup on that last pass play. Play action. Sidearm. Kevin Mack had it jarred loose, and it could be ruled a fumble as Donnie Shell takes it in. So apparently the ruling will be the ball was completed and then fumbled. Let's see. If that is the call, it is a Steeler touchdown for Donnie Shell.
Well, there was an official right on top of the play, and he did not blow the whistle. He did not blow the whistle, so it appeared to be a completed pass to the right on the screen.
They could use instant replay. We'll have to see. Donnie Shell, a 35-year-old, 14-year veteran, running it in. Runs it 19 yards on the play.
The key they'll be looking for, of course, is to see if he had control of the ball. If he did, in fact, have it in his hands long enough under control for it to be a fumble.
The replay official is Frank Sienkiewicz. Are they checking it out on replay? They are. The philosophy of instant replay to reverse on-field decisions only when the replay official has indisputable visual evidence that warrants a change, and it concentrates on plays of possession or touching, such as fumbles and interceptions and muffs.
Here we get another look at it. Does he have the ball? Does he have the ball right here?
What do you think?
I think he had it long enough. Looked like he had it and was going to put it away.
The instant replay system is basically the same as last year, with one exception. The monitors, the television monitors, are slightly larger. They're now 12 inches. Last season there were 38 reversals, an average about 1 reversal every 6 games. All right, here's the call.
After a review of instant replay, the play was called a fumble and a touchdown.
And so it holds up. And Donnie Shell has scored off the fumble recovery. The second career touchdown for Donnie Shell, the other coming on a pure interception. Donnie Shell, one of 3 remaining players from all 4 Pittsburgh Super Bowl teams. The others, Mike Webster and John Stallworth. And now the try for the extra point to tie the game, and Anderson does just that. So the Steelers with 10 unanswered points have come back to tie it at 10. We'll be back here in Cleveland in a moment.
Winning the world over, we're gonna move you, make you smile. Have you driven a Ford? Winning the world over, special look, you're moving in style. Have you driven a Ford lately? Giving it all you've got. You're moving ahead. Been taking it one step better. You're taking that one step better. Winning the world over. Have you driven? We're winning the whole world over. Have you driven? Winning the world over. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Snake River, Wyoming and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. The Snake River means fly fishing for lunker cutthroat trout. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer. And smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place. An Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Fellas, it just doesn't get any better than this.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by IBM.
Welcome back to Cleveland Stadium. Marv Albert with Joe Namath. The Browns and the Steelers are now tied at 10. Cleveland at one point led 10-0. And Gary Anderson getting set to kick it off to Glenn Young. Now, last week, kicker Morton Anderson of New Orleans put all 5 kickoffs into the end zone. Young coming up on the short boot, 15-yard line, has some room, and that is jarred back as he reached out to the 23. Chris Sheffield able to make the stop. Tempers beginning to flare. This has been an angry rivalry over the years. Cleveland sweeping Pittsburgh last year. And it will be a first down at the 25-yard line. Ernie Kozov, quarterback, Ernest Biner, Evan Mack are the running backs. Mack lined up in front of Biner. Play action, good fake, and a high toss, penalty marker down. Mack, the intended receiver, covered by the outside linebacker, Mike Merriweather. Steelers with 10 points within 38 seconds, going back to the final seconds of the first half.
Personal foul, 93 defense, a shot to the head, 15-yard penalty.
And that is Keith Willis, the left defensive end, called on the foul.
You'll watch him hit Biner as Biner comes out of the backfield. Ooh. Boom. I don't know why that's unnecessary roughness. It looked like a good hit to me. Just a little bit far downfield, maybe past the 5-yard area. But I don't think that that was anything unnecessary. That was a good lick.
However, the officials thought it was unnecessary. So first down at the 40-yard line as the Browns come out of the I. And it's Biner off the slant. 4-yard advance. It'll be a 2nd and 6. David Little making the stop. Back to the scoreboard in that wild National League East race. The Cubs in front of the Cardinals, now 2-0 in the second inning. Mets in front, Expos trailing. It is a 2nd and 6 at the 44. Brian Brennan has come in as the wide receiver. And And he is to the left side. Back. And he is jarred short of the first down by Dwayne Woodruff, the left cornerback. All right, we've been checking out Ernest Biner, and in this sequence, he will level the block.
Good block by Ernest Biner. You know, blocking is all desire. If a guy wants to get in there, stick his head and shoulder in there, he can be a good blocker. Ernest Biner does it all. He also has better speed than most people might think. He runs a 4.5 which is actually darn fast.
Ernest Biner in his 4th season out of East Carolina. 3rd and 1 at midfield. Penalty marker is down. Kozar with the time and overthrows. Travis Tucker, the backup tight end, was downfield. And another penalty being called.
An illegal substitution. Number 77 reported as ineligible and played a tackle position. Penalty refused. 4th down.
That is Ricky Bolden, the left tackle. Ricky Bolden called an illegal substitution.
Yeah, I say he reported as a receiver and lined up in a tackle position. So what happened was another receiver outside of Bolden was on the line of scrimmage, which made him ineligible.
And Lewis Lips, the victim of good coverage by the Cleveland Browns. A 40-yard punt by Jeff Gossett. Felix Wright on the tackle. So Pittsburgh will go back to the offense, and we'll be right back.
Alaskan king crab from Glacier Bay and the great taste of Old Milwaukee beer.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place at Old Milwaukee beer.
Hey guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Last year, Allstate paid to repair or rebuild over 600,000 homes.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
And over 1 million cars. All told, we spent over $20 million a day restoring the important things in our customers' lives.
Leave it to us to help protect what's important to you.
Your hopes and schemes, your plans and dreams. Leave it to the good hands, people. You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
For every number flashing by in the ticker, there's a buyer and a seller who found each other. Chicago pork bellies get an offer from London. Swiss francs are picked up in Dallas. How do traders keep up with it? They use a communication system from Contel. If it doesn't work, they don't work. That's why 4 out of 5 major trading firms depend on technology from Contel. For Contel, I'm Charlton Heston.
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denerex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denerex.
An American tradition continues when the Tigers face the Blue Jays or the Cardinals meet the Cubs. The memories are waiting next Saturday.
On the scoreboard, Chicago still in front of Tampa Bay 14-3. How about Green Bay over Denver? Gene Lang has just scored for the Broncos on a 3-yard run. Miami pulling away from Indianapolis. Washington in front. Houston and Buffalo 17-13. Oiler lead. First down for the Steelers from their 16-yard line. Here's Ernest Jackson, not able to get going in the first half, and the Browns still have his number. Clay Matthews, the outside linebacker, on the stop. The folks in the dog pound certainly enjoyed that play by the Browns.
Yeah, they're getting fired up. Pittsburgh Steelers offense is close to that end of the end zone, so they want to make a lot of noise. Well, they won't be seeing any more of John Stallworth today. He has a groin injury, and he's going to be out for the rest of the afternoon.
And that is a major loss of John Stallworth, replaced by the 6'6" Ouija Thompson. Second down and 9. They see some alley-oop attempts. Pollard in motion. Goes to the right side and completes at the first down marker. Ellis with the hit on Lips. So Lewis Lips with his 5th catch of the afternoon.
Lewis Lips just gets going downfield and runs a stop pattern to protection, what makes this play again, and Mark puts the ball right there. Ellis is a little late getting over to his coverage.
Mark Malone, the scouts say, is not noted as a touch passer. That's been a criticism of Malone.
Yeah, he's a real strong arm guy, and he hasn't developed that good touch pass yet as, say, Bernie Kosar. Kosar has a better touch on the ball.
First down from the 29-yard line. The handoff to Pollard. And Pollard with the short yardage on the trap play. Bob Golick, the nose tackle, right there. Frank Pollard bothered by a pinched nerve in his shoulder, getting some activity here in the second half, making it back after missing 13 games last year with a knee problem. That's Golick. They call him the Mad Dog, the ultimate overachiever, trying to bounce back from the performance last week against the New Orleans Saints. 2nd and 7 from the 32. Play action. And Malone, no, incomplete. The tight end Gothard had it. And the Browns are calling for the same play. Look out. Oh, a big right hand landed by Lewis Lips. They want the same call that they felt was made earlier. The Browns want that call when Mack made the reception, and then it was ruled that he fumbled, leading to the touchdown. Here's
the play was ruled an incomplete forward pass. We've got a personal foul on 83 offense. The down count is 3rd down after the 15-yard penalty.
Lewis Lips showing a strong right hand. Good jab.
Yeah, well, this may be a case of the second guy in retaliation getting caught on the penalty. Here you see a little bit of, well, he drops the ball, so naturally he's frustrated.
All right, Gothard dropped it, and then here's the mauling session.
That's right. See, and then this is what Lips gets called for swinging back. You see, I don't know that he instigated the whole deal, yet he gets the penalty.
Not smart to swing at man with helmet. Al Gross, the free safety.
That's a tough call. You know, you got to figure that both teams started this deal, and it should have been offsetting penalty.
And it's a 15-yard call. So the down holds up because the infraction took place after the play was completed. So that is a major setback for the Steelers. Chuck Noll not happy about a 3rd down and 22. Back at the 17 as the Steelers are in the shadows of the friendly folks in the dog pound. So back behind the end zone area, right in back of the Steelers. And Malone throwing the bomb way long. Charles Lockett was out there, but that ball was thrown away. Felix Wright, the extra defensive back on the coverage.
That was it, Mark. Folks, Mark Malone does not want to get caught with the ball in that situation. It would have put extra pressure on his punting unit being backed up toward the end zone area. So he simply did throw that ball out of everyone's reach.
4 minutes have gone by, 3rd quarter. Pittsburgh and Cleveland tied at 10. Idolette has had difficulty with his snaps. Let's see what happens here. This is dangerous area. Harry Newsome is right at the goal line. That time a good one. Back, the ice cube to the 45. Leading his way at midfield. Gerald McNeil off a 41-yard punt. Only a 5-yard return, and Cleveland, with excellent field position, will take over.
Your face takes enough abuse, so you need the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. Its Lubra-Smooth strip is designed to reduce irritation, so shaving feels so good. Good News Plus.
America's best-selling minivan, America's best-selling wagon, and the wagon version of the world's best-selling car. Of all the things they carry, the one thing they carry most proudly is the badge of America's most successful car company, Ford.
Winning the world over. You're winning. Have you been behind the wheel? Winning the world over. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Hey, my
my desk.
It's making room for the new computer.
We just got new computers.
I'm talking about a really big computer.
Is this big enough to run mainframe programs?
Piece of cake.
Is it big enough for hundreds of workstations?
Of course.
Wow, for thousands of customer accounts?
No sweat, kid.
Wow, that does sound big. You better not spill your coffee on it.
This is it? Where's the rest of it?
The IBM mid-range. Big computers in small packages.
Come in.
Alaskan king crab from Glacier Bay and the great taste of Old Milwaukee beer.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place at Old Milwaukee Beer.
Hey, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Patriots battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Back in Cleveland, the Browns first down at the Pittsburgh 48-yard line. Pittsburgh has come from behind. They were down 10-0. We're tied at 10. 10:45 to go in this third quarter. Dan Fike, the starting right guard for Cleveland, with an ankle injury, been taken for x-rays, replaced by second-year man out of Notre Dame, Larry Williams, in at right guard. Long count, and it is Biner. Inside the 45, David Little, the inside linebacker, on the stop. So the Browns now with Rison and Bolden at the tackles, Farron and Williams at the guards, and Babb is the center. Mike Babb, the Browns starting center since 1983, in his 6th year out of University of Texas. Biner with 5 on the play, 2nd and 5 at the 43. Only 24 yards, 6 carries for Biner. Biner again. Off the sweep, short of the first down, runs to the 40-yard line. Advance of 3. It'll be a 3rd down and 2. Willis and Carr combined on the stop. Back to the baseball scoreboard and the American League East. Toronto in front of the Yankees 2-1. Yankees knocking off the Blue Jays yesterday, and Milwaukee in front of Detroit 5-2. In the West, Minnesota in front by 3.5 going into today's play. 3rd down and 2. Biner in motion. And it's Mack. And Mack is shoved back looking for that first down. Robin Cole with that big hit. Cole from the right inside linebacker position, along with Delton Hall. And the Browns short of the first down. Ball spotted at the 39-yard line. It'll be a 4th and less than a yard. Marty Kozar with the indication to Marty Schottenheimer on the near side. They will measure. Kozar has conceded, though.
Yeah, well, it's out of field goal range, I believe. If they had to attempt the field goal, it would be about 57 yards, and I don't think he could make that. It's 4th down and a good bit. You'd think that they'd punt to Pittsburgh, back them up, put their backs against the wall again. If they don't make the first down, they're giving Pittsburgh a field position. It's too good.
And that is exactly what Schottenheimer is thinking. So Jeff Gossett checks in. Bernie Kozar, a little disappointed.
Yeah, you know, a guy out in the field wants to keep things going. Yeah, a quarterback always feels like they can pick up the first down when it's that short. But that Pittsburgh Steelers defense has been playing good ball this afternoon. Had they stopped Cleveland, they'd have great field position there.
A hard-punching Lewis Lips awaiting the punt. Back at the 10. It's a line drive. And rolls in. And again, Gossett hears it from the crowd. 39-yard kick, but of significance, not able to angle it out of bounds. So the Steelers will take over at their 20.
Warm moments on a cold winter night. Good conversation, easy and light. Now how about something for your appetite? Let our gentle flame cook up something right. Warm moments for those warm moments. Nothing warms you like gas.
Warm is what a gas home is all about. And if you're beyond natural gas service, enjoy the efficiency of gas by using propane.
Nothing warms you like gas.
Lafitte, Louisiana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Lafitte means flat-bottom boat racing and a Cajun feast that'll set your mouth on fire. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp, Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place, an Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
It doesn't get any better than this.
For 75 years, Liberty Mutual has shown companies like IBM, companies like General Mills, companies like Ramada Inns, and thousands of others how to make their workers' compensation dollars work harder. As a result, they've made Liberty Mutual the largest insurer of America's working men and women.
They are called Olympic hopefuls, but hope plays a small role here. For it will take a courage, a discipline, and a sheer will few of us will ever know. And if their effort is true, then they too will be known as Olympians.
Well, Joe, one of our favorite moments. Time to check the 10-minute ticker. Chicago leading Tampa Bay. Green Bay over Denver. San Francisco closing on a Ray Wersching 24-yard field goal. Miami out in front. 3 touchdown passes thrown by Marino. First down for the Steelers from the 20-yard line. 6 minutes gone by. Third quarter. Pittsburgh and Cleveland at 10 apiece. Here's Pollard. Trying to cut back. Nowhere to go. And hit for the loss. Frank Pollard trying to cut inside, but Mike Johnson got the wraps around him.
They haven't been gaining any yardage on first down in their running game. There's Junkin. He was involved on the play from the left side. You see number 54. He takes on the blocker with that headgear, sticking it in there, and keeps fighting his way out to help out on the tackle. Very good play by Junkin, the young rookie.
Loss of 5. Second and 15, back at the 15-yard line. And Malone overthrows. Intended for Charles Lockett, who drew the double coverage. That'll set up a 3rd and 15.
Mark's not happy with himself there. He kind of feels he could have gotten that ball in. Lockett had the inside step on the defender, and Mark just overthrew.
And Malone is now 1 for his last 7. At one point last week, he was 1 for 10 and finished 9 out of 33. So a 3rd and 15. Malone stepping up and almost picked off by Chris Watkins, who had an interception earlier. Lips the intended receiver. Quickie series for the Steelers, and they will be forced to punt from deep in their territory.
Well, this is what happens when you get into a pass-must situation. The defense lays back and reads, and they converge on the ball. It should have been an intercepted pass. The reason they got in trouble once again was the loss of yardage on the first down run. Pittsburgh's going to have to mix up the first down plays a little more. Go to the pass or play action on first down.
Harry Newsom punting to this man, the speedy Gerald McNeil. Newsom, a man who started strong last season and then tailed off, just did get it off. And it carries out of bounds. A 41-yard punt. Well, as we were discussing earlier at the hotel, Joe, this game is the property of the National Football League. Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns going against each other, all rights reserved. It'll be a first down at the 44-yard line. So the Browns back to the offense. Browns and Steelers tied at 10. And Kozar able to complete to Biner. Out at midfield, Cole and Little combining on the stop.
I'm a little surprised. Ozzie Newsome has been very quiet today. They haven't been throwing the football to him. It's been good coverage by the Steelers, but You'd think that this man here, one of the best receivers that's played the game, would get some action, and they haven't been throwing the ball to Ozzie.
Ozzie to this point has been shut out. He has at least one catch in 115 straight games, caught 5 balls against the Saints last week. 2nd and 3 from midfield. And Kozar able to get away. Now looks to run and then nearly pulled off a beautiful ad-lib play. Mack, the intended receiver. We're set for another update. Let's go to Bob Costas, NFL Live.
All right, Marv, we have a chance to check the race in the National League East. The Cardinals lead the Mets by a game and a half, and they lead in the 3rd at home over the Cubs 3-2. In the 6th at Pittsburgh, it's 6-2 Mets. Tuffle, Howard Johnson, and Strawberry all have home runs. Montreal is 2 back of St. Louis. They're at home, and in the 5th, they trail the Phillies 2-1. Let's go back to Marv Albert, Joe Namath.
Thank you, Bob. It's a 3rd and 3 as we resume here in Cleveland. 3rd and 3 from midfield. Count by Kozar. And it is dropped. Brian Brennan not able to hold on. Covered by the outside linebacker, number 57, Mike Merriweather.
Mike Merriweather was all over Brian Brennan. Brian feels like he should have caught the ball at the top of your screen right here. Number 86, Brian Brennan, being covered by number 57, makes the turn, and he feels like he should have had it, but Merriweather got his hands in there. That was good defensive coverage.
And punt formation for the Browns as Gossett try to angle it, lips under it, and then lets it go. And it will come out to the 20-yard line, a 49-yard punt. Lips giving the little fake, trying to draw a penalty, but he knew it was flying over his head. And the Steelers will go first down from their 20-yard line. Jeff Gossett has been hearing it from the crowd throughout the day. Well, a shot from the SeaWorld airship. Captain Mike Fitzpatrick out of Newport, Rhode Island. And the camera operator, Bob Michelson, from Potomac, Maryland. First down from the 20-yard line. Mark Malone having his difficulties here in the 3rd quarter. Continues to have his problems. Carl Hampton, who led Cleveland last season with 9 sacks, comes up with the 3rd sack of the day for the Browns.
Watch number 78, Carl Hurston, come from the center of your screen. Or over to the right, he should be coming from any time now. There he is. A good play by Carl. Well, he just flat outfought the Pittsburgh offensive lineman, John Rienstra.
And it will be a 2nd and 17 from the 13. Along with the short setup and broken up. Pass intended for the Buckeye, Reggie Thompson. Now let's see, are they calling it a fumble on a recovery?
Looked like it hit one of the receivers' feet or a defender's foot and bounced up into the air.
The officials are discussing the play. Frank Minifield may have gotten a piece of it. And here's Gene Barth with the interpretation. Did hit his foot, and it was intended for Lips, and it was picked off by Mike Johnson, the inside linebacker.
It appeared to hit Lewis Lips' left foot, bounced back into the air to be intercepted. Watch Lewis Lips' left foot.
Deflecting off the foot of Lewis Lips. And then Mike Johnson, second-year man from Virginia Tech, was on it.
It's going to be a hard call because they say it needs to be inconclusive. It has to be a sure call.
It is an instant replay situation for the second time this afternoon. And as we mentioned earlier, the philosophy is to reverse on-field decisions only when the replay official has indisputable visual evidence. The play earlier did hold up. That is the play that was called on the field. Replay official Frank Sinkovitz.
Coach Chuck Noll. Chuck's from the, I find it interesting. Chuck's from the Cleveland area, and he's coaching Pittsburgh. Marty Schottenheimer's from the Pittsburgh area, and he's the head coach of Cleveland.
Chuck Noll played for the Browns, starting back in 1953. Are you an instant replay fan?
Yes, I am an instant replay fan. When I played football, too many calls went the wrong way that I thought...
That would be the player's point of view.
That's right.
But it can cost you, too.
Well, hey, it's only fair if it costs you. You know, I just like to see the fairest plays called correctly, or all the plays be called correctly.
And there's Mike Johnson, the man who came up with that deflected pass. Johnson had a strong game against the Saints with 10 tackles, 7 unassisted. One of several products of the USFL on this Cleveland Browns roster.
Both of these teams have been playing outstanding football.
The indication is that it will be an interception. The instant replay upholding the call. So both instant replay situations backing up the calls that were made on the field. One for Pittsburgh, one for Cleveland. The Pittsburgh call leading to the Donnie Shell touchdown. Cleveland first down at the Steeler 23. Mack and Biner, the running backs. And it is Mack picking up 3 yards. It'll set it 2nd and 7. Gary Dunn on the stop along with Edmund Nelson. Last season, the Browns finished at 12-4. They came within 2 minutes of the Super Bowl. 8 of their 13 wins, including the playoffs, decided in the final minutes on late rallies. They did take advantage of a weak schedule, but 12-4 is 12-4. 2nd and 7 from the 20. Just under 6 minutes left, 3rd quarter. And it's Biner. Right at the marker. Ernest Biner stopped by Shell. And it is a first down for the Browns. So looking to take advantage off that deflected interception.
And taking advantage of the playing surface as well. Cleveland started the flow of the offense to the left and had Pittsburgh flowing that way. And then Biner neatly cut back behind the defensive flow for the good yardage.
Webster Slaughter flanked to the left. Reggie Langhorne and the slot left. Mack and Biner out of the pro set. Intended for Webster Slaughter. Covered by Delton Hall. Going back to that play of a moment ago off the deflected interception by Mike Johnson, the official call from the replay official is that after viewing this, there was nothing conclusive from what they could see on the replay that would dispute what took place on the field. No reason to reverse it. So the call on the field was interception, and it was upheld. 2nd and 10 from the 13. 2nd back, Biner. And he is gang tackle, forced out. Not able to make the turn. Hall, Woodruff, Sanchez, all on the play. It'll be a 3rd down and 8 at the 11.
Good defensive pursuit that time by Hall and Sanchez. Number 93, Keith Willis for Pittsburgh, forced the play outside, kind of struck it out and gave the defensive backs time to get there.
And now McNeil is to the right at the near side, and Webster flanked to the left. They go 4-receiver setup. Biner the only running back. Kozar off the run. Completes for the touchdown. Gerald McNeil. Gerald McNeil doing it against Dwayne Woodruff. There he is, number 89. He was a favorite receiver of Jim Kelly back in the USFL days with the Houston Gamblers, one of the Mouseketeers that Kelly enjoyed throwing to.
Because of his size, though, they don't like to use him a lot in the passing game. They feel that he'll get beaten up too much. He's only 145 pounds, but that time, because of his quickness, he was able to find the open spot.
Penalty marker down off the extra point by Jaeger. Cleveland Browns in front of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Off a 5-play, 23-yard drive.
Number 47, offside. Points good. We'll penalize 5 yards on the kickoff.
So it stands up. Bruce Jones, the man called on the penalty, and the Browns now lead at 17-10.
You know, we talked about Bernie Kosar not being so agile or so quick. He's good at finding time here to get this pass off, scrambling right and hitting McNeil in the open spot. Kosar's ability has been compared to that of Larry Bird. He doesn't look like he's doing much. Here's McNeil coming off the ball, getting to the inside. Now, because Kosar is scrambling, there aren't any defenders around McNeil. He's finding the open spot. Come on, get me the ball, he says. There he is. Bernie Kosar, as I was mentioning, is often compared to Larry Bird. He doesn't look like he's moving quickly. He doesn't look like he has the best agility, but he still gets the job done.
Yes, a man who doesn't knock you over with his style, but his chief attribute is reading defenses so well and then getting it done.
He's a very intelligent quarterback, Bernie Kosar, and he's actually, had he finished college, this would only be his second professional game in the NFL.
Led University of Miami to the national title back in 1983 as a red-shirted freshman. Bernie Kosar in his 3rd season in what could have been his rookie year.
You know, folks, let me clarify that. Bernie Kosar did graduate from college. He was a very good student. He just finished early because he was so smart.
And the return by Sanchez. Nearly broke the tackle. Persistence by Stephen Braggs. And the Pittsburgh Steelers will start out from their 15-yard line. So again, they're back in dog pound territory.
Been playing a lot of football on their end of the field. Pittsburgh's got to calm down now. It's still a very close game, only 1 touchdown, trying to establish some kind of momentum of their own.
4.5 left, 3rd quarter. And the Steelers trail by a touchdown after coming from 10 points back. Malone going sideline, intended for the leaping Charles Lockett and for Dixon on the coverage. Good pressure by Al Bubba Baker.
Yeah, number 60, Bubba Baker's coming from the outside. He's not going to make the play, but he gets his hands up to distract Malone just a little bit.
Baker goes 6'6", 270 pounds, extending that left hand. 2nd and 10 from the 15. And Malone is 0 for his last 6, 1 for his last 10. If we were in Pittsburgh, he would be hearing it at this point. Now Malone able to complete at the 21-yard line, but short of the first down. The tight end, Preston Gothard, stopped by free safety Al Gross. Gothard's first catch of the day.
And it was the drop pass that Gothard had a little while ago to put Pittsburgh in the hole. That's when they got the 15-yard penalty on Lewis Lips. Had he caught the pass, they wouldn't have gotten it. But Pittsburgh normally doesn't throw passes to their tight end. They like to use him for a blocker, picking up the linebackers and blitzers, and throw the ball to the wideouts and to the back.
3rd and 3 from the 22. They may pick up some of the barking in the background. has the first down. And the ball was jarred loose, but this time the whistle had blown, so the play blown dead. A 9-yard pass play. Merrill Hodge, good third down receiver. Rookie from Idaho State. 10th round draft selection, making the catch.
Say these teams are going to have to wise up when they see Hodge in the game. He is a good receiver. They should have a defender cover him tightly when he's coming out of that backfield. They gave him too much room that time. That's what they want to do, throw the ball to Hodge.
Second catch of the day by Hodge, and a first down for the Steelers from their 31. Browns lead it 17-10. 3 minutes left. Third quarter. Play action. Malone off the roll. Goes the other side of the field. And that was a confusing play. Ernest Jackson, who took a hip check, was the intended receiver.
One guy it did not confuse was number 57, Clay Matthews, the linebacker of the Cleveland Browns. It looks like Ernest Jackson's limping a bit. There's Clay Matthews in his 10th year. Very smart football player. He's been to the Pro Bowl several times. He stayed at home that time and was right there to break up the play.
And the story defensively from the Browns' point of view is that they have held Ernest Jackson to 19 yards on 10 carries. 2nd and 10 from the 31. Now Malone under pressure, unleashes deep for Lips. Lewis Lips looking for interference off the coverage from Minifield and Gross.
I think he's going to get it, Mark. Folks, I think he's going to get it.
Flag was thrown upfield. So the interference taking place.
31 defense, first down.
It is Minifield called on the interference. The flag was thrown at the 40-yard line. That was in the midst of the pattern.
You'll see him bump Lewis as he comes out of his break right here. Right here. You're not allowed to put your hands on the man down there. Not allowed to put your hands on the receiver at all once he's past the 5-yard area.
Pittsburgh Steelers picking up a first down for the 5th time today off a Cleveland Browns penalty. So the Browns killing themselves in that department. First down at the Cleveland 40. Play action. Malone took a pop. Clay Matthews all over Mark Malone.
Clay Matthews, number 57. Comes around Craig Wolfley, number 73, one of the better pass blockers the Steelers have. With second effort there, he's able to break up the pass play, force Mark to throw it in the ground. Mark Malone.
2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Third quarter. Browns 17, Steelers 10. And it is dropped. Lips very upset with himself. Obviously should have had it.
Oh, it was a beautifully thrown pass. Just where Lewis wanted it, right in his hands. He's going to go downfield and just suddenly stop. You'll see him stop here. The defender can't stop as quickly. Should have made the catch.
And he was all by himself. Had a lot of room to operate. 3rd and 10. In the second half, Malone is only 3 for 12, 28 yards. Stepping up, and it's broken up and intercepted again on a deflection. It is Watkins with his 2nd intercept of the day. Watkins going 15 yards on the interception return.
Frank Minifield covering Louis Lips right here. The ball's up, pretty good throw, but Minifield gets in there and gets a hand on the ball. Fine play by Minifield. Minifield just gets inside of Louis Lips to tip the ball up in the air for Watkins to intercept.
Chris Watkins, 4-year man from Oklahoma State, picking off that man, Mark Malone. So Cleveland with an opportunity from their 45-yard line. 2:20 left, third quarter. Goes on, could not find anyone. And now able to complete to the tight end, Ozzie Newsome, his first catch of the day out at midfield. And for the 10-year man from Alabama, Ozzie Newsome.
They love Ozzie Newsome here in Cleveland.
He makes it 116 straight. And this crowd is pumped. They call it a 6-yard advance, 2nd and 4 at the Pittsburgh 49. Leiter and Mack in the backfield. The swing to Mack. And he is short of the first down, picked up a yard and a half. Nose tackle Gary Dunn, left cornerback Dwayne Woodruff, able to combine on the stop.
That was a designed quick screen all the way. He had a couple of offensive linemen out in front of him, trying to get some yardage on the screen pass, but it was good defense by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been playing a solid defensive game, and I might add that Donnie Shell's been doing a wonderful job covering Ozzie Newsome today.
It's a 3rd and 3. Kozar 15 for 25, 129 yards. Biner has the first down and some more off the successful execution of the draw. Thomas Everett, the extra defensive back, made the tackle on Biner.
Biner run to his left and make a quick cut to his right where he finds daylight. Good speed, good explosive speed by the 4'5" Biner.
He's only 4'5"?
No. That's how fast he runs the 40. What would we call him? The mini Ice Cube or what?
All right. Biner has run for 43 yards, 9 carries. First down at the Pittsburgh 37, final seconds, 3rd quarter. A bullet thrown to Mack. Stiff arm move. And flags thrown. It has been rough out there. Marty Schottenheimer was upset. Robin Cole on the stop, along with Dwayne Woodruff. Chuck Knoll getting in his point of view. Chuck Knoll trying to turn things from the last 2 seasons.
Number 77 offense was holding. We got a face mask penalty on the defense. We'll replay the down.
Ricky Bolden, the left tackle of Cleveland, is called on the Browns portion of that penalty. No number given on the Steeler penalty. As this 3rd quarter comes to an end.
You'll see the face mask penalty here on the left side of your screen. Right here, Woodruff grabs hold of the face mask, number 49, and gets called for it.
So it was Woodruff with the Steeler penalty. That's the end of 3. Browns lead at 17-10. Back after this from your local station.
This guy's not looking for awards. He's out for old-fashioned. Go for it. Justice. Who are you? Tonight, the Highwayman.
Some people think the newly announced 1.9% financing has got the jump. On everybody, not on Dodge. Now at your Dodge dealer. Get 1.9% financing or $1,000 cash back on all hot-selling 87 Aries models in stock. 1.9 or $1,000 back on Aries 2-door. 1.9 or $1,000 back on Aries 4-door. And 1.9 or $1,000 back on Aries wagon. See your participating Dodge dealer today. When it comes to financing, nobody gets the jump on Dodge.
The Northern Ohio Dodge dealers. They know what counts.
A message to Society Bank customers, Ken and Darlene Bagby. You know that getting ahead means paying attention to details. Your bank feels the same way. You count on Society because Society bankers work like you do, with an attitude that says, whatever it takes. Isn't that just what hardworking people like you deserve? Thanks, Ken and Darlene, from the people who are building a better bank around you.
For years, almost all homes and buildings in this area have used natural gas for heating. It's efficient, economical, and keeps you warm. Now, more buildings use natural gas for cooling, too, because one energy company has helped develop a system that freezes water, stores it, and uses the ice for cooling at about half the cost of electricity. What company? The East Ohio Gas Company.
Discover the difference. Connie Deacon, Channel 3 News.
As this fourth quarter gets underway here in Cleveland, a look at the scoreboard. Chicago and Tampa Bay remaining the same in the fourth. Green Bay looking to do it to the Denver Broncos. And San Francisco has come from behind. Another Wersching field goal has tied it. Marino has thrown 3 for the Dolphins. And Atlanta now in front of Washington by 1. Houston over Buffalo. And Philadelphia leading New Orleans. First down at the 37 for the Cleveland Browns. What could be the final quarter of play for the Browns and the Steelers with that strike looming on Tuesday. And should there be an abbreviated season, today's game, depending on how many games they do play, could be very significant. The ball carrier stopped by Mike Merriweather. Now, if there is a strike and the NFL continues to operate with free agent pickups, or as some have labeled them, scabs, the ghosts of the USFL, Joe, will finally get their wish. The NFL, in effect, could become the USFL. Of course, they would take, they are talking about taking a week off and then regrouping, should that happen. 2nd and 9 at the 36. Browns by 7, 17-10 over the Steelers. Big hole. And Mack able to plow his way right to the marker. Brian Hinkle, the outside linebacker, making the stop. It's called an 8-yard advance. Let's see, my $20,000 a year helps pay your $1 million per year, so go on strike. Quick, Joe, would you stop leaving notes like that?
You know, there are a lot of ball players not making that $1 million a year, and if they go out on strike, they're really going to miss their paycheck.
It is short of the first down, so third down play, 3rd and 1 at the 28. Mack is now lined up in the slot formation. He was out as a wide receiver, but a timeout has been called. With the timeout, let's pause for these messages.
Better value? Absolutely. Our new Tandy 1000 HX is made in the USA and designed to be one of the easiest to use PC compatibles ever. And it's priced for the home. Just how easy is it? Turn it on, it's ready to go. The whole family can use it for education, games, and budgeting. We even give you 7 programs to get started, including word processing, filing, and spreadsheet.
Easy enough, no better value.
Tandy Computers, because there is no better value. Only at Radio Shack.
Every 3,000 miles, you can change your oil yourself, leave your car at the dealer, spend all day at the service station, or drive into Jiffy Lube with no appointment. In 10 minutes, the J-Team will change your oil with quality Pennzoil, replace the filter, lube the chassis, fill the important fluids, 14 quality services. Jiffy Lube turns an all-day oil change into a 10-minute family reunion.
Welcome to Jiffy Lube. We'll take care of you like family.
Nice flying, Greg.
Thanks.
So, you're really not going to do another tour?
Nah, Susan and I have made plans.
You're going to miss this place.
Sure, Doc. My mind's made up, all right?
Then I guess you're going to want this.
American accepted me. Looks like I'm going back to flight school.
I hope they know they're getting one of the best.
When you're something special, people know it.
Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the Energizer Battery. Good times never lasted longer. And by American Airlines. Something special in the air.
Mild, pleasant day here in Cleveland. Marv Albert, Joe Namath.
Here's a shot of Sanchez. The reason Pittsburgh called timeout just now is because he wasn't on the field. They only had 10 men out there.
So able to save on that penalty call, and it's a 3rd down and 1 from the 28. And it appears that the first down was picked up by Kevin Mack. Minute and a half gone by on the 4th quarter, and the Browns by 7 over the Steelers. Blue Jays now lead the Yankees 5-2 in the 7th inning. Milwaukee still in front of Detroit. Detroit going in a game and a half in front American League West, Minnesota leads by 3.5 going into today's play. And the Mets and Pirates are now tied in the 6th. Philly is still in front of Montreal. First down at the 25-yard line of the Steelers. 86, Brennan in motion. And here's Mack. Short pickup. Bumped out by Delton Hall, the outstanding rookie, second-round draft pick from Clemson. Well, Mack now with 53 yards. It's been tough running against the Steelers. It's been tough running against the Browns here today.
Been a good defensive game, well played by both the Browns and the Steelers.
A second down and 7. The short route. Webster Slaughter has the first down. Robin Cole on the stop. Correction, Kevin Mack on that reception. So Mack out of the backfield.
We'll show you something here you won't see very often. Kevin Mack catches the ball, number 31. Tony Shell misses the tackle. He had a dead beat on him, and he just didn't make the play. You won't see Donnie Shell miss many tackles.
And a first down at the 12-yard line. There's Donnie Shell. On the 30-second clock. And they just did get it off. There's Biner on the carry. Nelson and Merriweather combining on the stop. Dan Fike is back in at right guard. He left earlier because of a left ankle problem. Was replaced by Larry Williams, second-year man from Notre Dame. So it's now Fike and Farron at the guards, Bolden and Risen at the tackles, and Babb at center. Big front line. 280, 280, 270, 280, 280. Tim Manoa, number 42 now, is the lone deep back for the second down and 8 at the 10. Again, a long count. Kozar going in zone. And let's see, he's out of bounds. Webster Slaughter caught it out of bounds. It is incomplete. Wayne Woodruff giving Slaughter very little room to maneuver.
Well, the reason this was incomplete and out of bounds, Bernie Kosar holds on to the ball a second too long. He should have released the ball just a little earlier. That way Slaughter would have had enough field to work with to make the catch. Now throw the ball. Throw the ball. Had he thrown it a little earlier, he'd have stayed on the field for the touchdown.
Now, we were talking earlier about the goalpost situation back at this portion of the field. Get a chance, we'll try to show it to you, the difference between where the Browns are driving toward and the other end of the field. Back to the ground though for Biner. The support at this end of the field is right near the pitcher's mound at Cleveland Stadium, so it's on the goal line. While at the other end, there it is.
On the end line, yeah.
Now that could affect the passing situation because the receiver may want to stay away from taking a real hard shot. Now look at it at the other side. It's back several yards.
That's right. When the goalpost used to be on the goal line, for example, one of the best ever was the great, he was an outstanding receiver, Jimmy Orr, the old Baltimore Colts. He used to wrap an arm around the goalpost and swing around it to get open.
23-yard attempt for Jager. And he has it. Jimmy Orr will appreciate that you pulled back from great and called him outstanding, Joe. We'll be right back.
One rockin' evening at the Silver Bullet.
This band sure is loud.
Oh, thanks. I just bought it.
Want to dance?
No, they got Coors Light.
You can't hear me, can you? I think you're beautiful. In fact, I think you look so hot. in here, isn't it? Of course, it's not so much the heat as it is the humidity.
No slowing down with the silver bullet. If your home was destroyed, would your insurance pay to completely rebuild it? Fact is, even with an inflation clause, your policy may not cover today's higher rebuilding costs.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Allstate can make sure you're protected. With an Allstate home replacement cost guarantee, we'll pay to completely rebuild your home, no matter what the cost.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
When you're working on your American dream, you want it to last forever.
Andersen Windows have helped build American dreams for over 80 years.
We take the time to build the best. That's what we've always been. Come home to quality. Come home to Andersen.
Where can you go to buy Andersen Windows? Call 1-800-255-2550.
This guy's not looking for awards. He's out for old-fashioned. Go for it. Justice. Who are you? Tonight, the Highwayman.
Well, from overhead, courtesy of the folks at SeaWorld, a shot from high above Cleveland Stadium on the shores of Lake Erie. Marv Albert and Joe Namath with 10:17 to go in this fourth quarter, and the Browns have opened up a 20-10 lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that missed field goal earlier by Gary Anderson could come back to haunt if the Steelers are able to get back on the board. Here's Sanchez. Wallop across the 20-yard line, taking the hit from Herman Fontenot.
Herman Fontenot, number 28, coming in from the middle of the screen. Number 28 makes a fine tackle.
Done it all today. Threw an option pass successfully. Can catch passes, can run the ball. Signed as a free agent out of LSU in his third year in the NFL. First down for the Steelers from their 24-yard line. It's gone bad for Mark Malone in the second half. He had a good first half. Off the draw, nothing. Abercrombie, stop. Earl Hashton on the stop. The Steelers going nowhere, as you can see, the last four possessions. Couple of punts, couple of interceptions. Malone is now 12 for 33, 151 yards. He started out well in the first half, but he now is beginning to mirror what took place last week when he was only 9 for 33. Second and 10 from the 24. Big rush, and it's picked off with a bottleneck. But Lucius Sanford able to come up with it. And words between several Steelers and Browns. Good rush by Clay Matthews, leading to the third interception of the afternoon.
From the left side of the screen, Clay Matthews comes clean. Mark Malone has to get away from him and doesn't throw a very good pass at all. Under pressure, quarterbacks will make that mistake from time to time.
That touched the ground. What do you think?
Well, I couldn't tell for sure, but the official was right on top of it.
Close call as Sanford held on, and we might see instant replay. We have had two instant replay calls, both upholding what took place on the field. Sanford on the interception. Here's another look at it. Lucius Sanford, signed as a free agent back in July after he was dropped by Buffalo.
Oh, no, buddy. No, sirree. He's got to have control of that ball. That ball hit the ground.
And again, we remind you, an on-field decision can be reversed if the replay official has indisputed visual evidence that warrants a change. And that appeared to be out of control off that angle Here's another look. Check out the right portion of the screen. No question. No interception.
No way.
In fact, that is the key replay, which to me is the main reason why the instant replay is unfair, because it depends what angle.
Of instant replay, it was determined that the pass was incomplete. It's third down.
And that is a correct call by instant replay, but Joe, what I think is the fallacy of the system, because this is a very big game. NBC is telecasting this game through a good portion of the nation, and therefore there's more equipment, and we have the ability to have more replay angles. If this were a lesser game shown to perhaps a small portion of the country, you would not have as much technology, and you would not have had that particular angle.
Well, let's say that Pittsburgh's happy we're doing the game today.
It's a 3rd and 10. Pittsburgh maintaining possession. 3rd and 10 from the 24-yard line. And Malone is intercepted. Clay Matthews. And instant replay will not be required.
Number 57, Clay Matthews in the middle of the screen, makes a sensational one-handed catch. Might add that that pass was forced by good defensive pressure from the defensive front as well. Malone threw a poor pass because of the pressure.
It has been a horror show for Mark Malone in the second half. 3 out of his last 18. Jager putting it through, but a penalty marker is down.
Here you'll see the pressure that Malone's going to get from the defensive front. Right now he has to throw the ball. Didn't quite get enough on it.
Penalty against the Steelers, so the extra point holds up. Our producer David Neal, a Southern California graduate, points out that Clay Matthews from USC was a running back in high school, and you saw some pretty good moves.
You've probably heard that Coors isn't pasteurized. Well, it's true. It's also true that Coors is the only major brewer who won't pasteurize any of their beer. The reason? It's taste. See, when you pasteurize something, you heat it. And heating hurts the taste of beer. So Coors purifies without heat. That helps make Coors a little less heavy, never bitter, but with all the spirit of a great beer. So when you want a beer, it's just plain better. Coors is the one.
What's the longest lasting battery you can buy? I'll get a surpriser! New Energizer! Say a surpriser! New Energizer! It's off the test! New Energizer was best! Lasted longer than all the rest! Too right! New Energizer! New Energizer! Little surpriser! Little surpriser!
Laboratory tests prove in most devices, Energizer lasts longer than any other battery. New Energizer.
Aye!
Engine repairs are not cheap, but they may be preventable with Fram WearGuard oil filters. A leading consumer magazine rated Fram best. So pay a few dollars now or a lot later.
Take good care of your car, but forget your brakes? Might as well do this. Bendix brakes pass tougher tests than any law requires, so think about Bendix. The sooner, the better.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Patriots battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
A tale of two cities. Mark Malone of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not hearing the applause back in Pittsburgh. And Clay Matthews, who just ran it back 26 yards off the interception, immediately following the instant replay that took away the interception from Lucius Sanford. The up man, Bruce Jones, cutting to his left. And taken down across the 30. Good run back, though, by Bruce Jones. Stephen Braggs.
Here's Matthews. Now, number 57, we mentioned earlier that Malone had gotten some rush. Matthews is actually beaten on this play by Abercrombie, but it's a poorly thrown pass. So he could have been the GOAT. Instead, Matthews turns into the hero.
And the Browns in front of the Steelers now, 27-10, 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Art Modell, the president of the Cleveland Browns, did not look like he was enjoying matters, but he was low-keying it at this point, I'm sure. And there's Matthews again, and then it was a lateral. Hanford Dixon from Clay Matthews. But it may have been ruled down. Let's see. Pass intended for Charles Lockett. Let's see what the call is.
The runner after the interception was ruled down by contact. Cleveland's ball, first down.
So it is Matthews on the intercept, and he was down before the lateral to Dixon. First time in his career that he's had 2 interceptions in one game, and he's done it on consecutive plays.
Consecutive plays, and also looking at that, the receiver was well covered. Mark Malone just threw a very poor pass.
Mark Malone on fire, but at the expense of the Cleveland Browns. And here's Biner. Short pickup by Biner.
Here you see Malone again throwing the ball just right to Clay Matthews. This is the first time in Mark Malone's career that he's had 3 interceptions in one ball game.
And 3 of his last 4 passes have been picked off. And he got the break. Actually didn't get a break because the instant replay showed the other one wasn't an interception. 2nd and 7. At the 37-yard line. You pull Malone at this point?
No, absolutely not.
Back up is Bubby Brister, who has had very little experience. And Kozar has it batted away.
You know, I say absolutely not. He's still the man that the Steelers are going to continue to play with after this football game. I don't think it'd do the Pittsburgh Steelers any good at all to take him out of the game morale-wise. You know, they know that he's feeling low, but he's going to fight back. It's the kind of guy Chuck Noll wants, a guy that can come back from adversity, and this will be a test. The remaining 7 minutes or so when Pittsburgh gets the ball and what kind of guy Malone is.
3rd down 7 at the 37. Brister, though, is warming up. Kozar 16 for 28, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 intercept. And Kozar going deep. The Rebels touchdown. Clarence Weathers, one-time New England Patriot, in his 5th year from Delaware State. Last Sunday against the Saints, caught a 7-yard touchdown pass, his only reception of the game. And right here, beat the free safety, Lupe Sanchez. 37-yard pass play.
Free safety has a responsibility as being as deep as any of the receivers, and that time Lupe Sanchez was outrun by Carl Weathers.
Now Jager puts it through. And the Browns open it up. They lead it by the score of 34-10. Clarence Weathers taking that long pass, and Art Modell continues to take it all in rather low-key.
Number 85, Clarence Weathers, running straight down the middle of the field. Here he gets past Lupe Sanchez. Free safety's not supposed to allow that to happen. You have to give credit to the offensive line for giving Kozar plenty of time to get this ball off.
Keith Gary nearly had Kozar. Kozar able to step up and avoid the defensive end. So the Browns will kick it off. And this capacity crowd certainly enjoying what they've seen here in the second half. There's Lupe Sanchez, who got beat a moment ago.
Well, with the addition of this touchdown, don't want to renege on what I said about pulling Mark Malone, but this is the time now that the game is farther out of reach at 34 to 7. You might want to bring in your backup quarterback, 34 to 10. You might want to bring in your backup quarterback and get him some work against the good defense.
Dwight Stone on the return. This is the first time that he has been back deep. Sanchez, after he was beaten by Weathers, on the sideline. So here is Bubby Brister, making his first appearance in a regular season game since back in week 7 of the '86 season against the Patriots, where he was destroyed, sacked 5 times by New England. He started 2 games last season, did all right against the Cincinnati Bengals, but not the case against the Patriots. In his second season out of Northeast Louisiana, 3rd-round draft pick last year. Guy who stands in the pocket will take the hit. Bubby Brister relieving Mark Malone, who had himself a nightmare off the draw. Abercrombie. Walter Abercrombie came back from a bout with meningitis last year and finished 4th in rushing in the AFC with 877 yards. Led the club in receptions with 47. He's carried it 6 times for 28 yards. Sweeney, the intended receiver. So Brister in the books for the first time this season, throwing a pass.
Yeah, and it was a little behind his receiver, but Mark Harper, the defensive back, made a good play. Mark Malone right now has got to feel very low. I think we've all been through this situation as football players on the losing side, plus having played a poor football game, and so Mark's not feeling his best right now.
It's a 3rd and 6 from the 31. 7:20 left, 4th quarter. Brister got the time, incomplete. Intended for Merrill High. Quickie series for the Steelers. So Bubby Brister will head to the sideline.
It's a tough time for Bubby Brister back there. He knows they're playing pass defense all the way. They have 7 or 8 defenders back there covering everything that the Pittsburgh Steelers send out, and then Cleveland's getting a good pass rush to boot. So Bubby's having a tough time back there.
And Harry Newsom will punt from his 15. Gerald McNeil is back at his 25. Short kick. Free catch was called for, and a flag throw. Dwight Stone running into Gerald McNeil. He had the arm up, calling for the catch. Only a 32-yard punt.
Interference to make the opportunity of a fair catch. Number 20, 15-yard penalty, and a first down.
It's a 15-yard call on Dwight Stone, who had that problem earlier in the game and covering a kick.
Well, we could classify it as another rookie mistake. You have to give the guy 5 yards at least to field the ball, and he didn't give him enough room to field the football. It was a clear signal by McNeil. Stone just got too close to him.
And a first down at the 46 for the Browns. They lead it 34 to 10. 7 minutes left in this 4th quarter. Tim Manoa stopped by Tim Johnson. Tim Manoa carrying the ball for the first time today. Chicago now leading Tampa Bay 20 to 3. Denver has come from behind. They've tied Green Bay. And final scores, Miami with the victory, and Atlanta over the Washington Redskins, 21-20. Manoah picked up 4. It'll be a 2nd and 6 at the 42. Now Brennan in the slot to the right. Fontenot is flanked wide at the near side. A lot of movement and flags thrown. Pittsburgh Steelers doing a lot of jumping. Gerald Williams called on the penalty in his 2nd year out of Auburn. 2nd round draft pick a year ago. It'll be a 2nd and 1 at the 37. Down to 6 minutes left in this 4th quarter. The Browns busting it open here in the 2nd half. Manoah, the long deep back. The first down. Tim Manoah, 3rd round pick out of Penn State. Born on the island of Tonga in the South Pacific. Joe, you have a house there, don't you?
More like Fort Lauderdale, Mark.
I see. Are these the later games that are just underway? Minnesota in front of the Los Angeles Rams. San Diego jumping in front of St. Louis. I mentioned Manoah from Tonga in the South Pacific, but actually grew up in Pittsburgh. So facing his hometown favorite club, the Pittsburgh Steelers. First down at the 32. And Herman Fontenot gets the call. So Marty Schottenheimer now giving some action to Herman Fontenot and Tim Manoah.
I'm a little surprised right now that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense isn't really up there on the line of scrimmage, playing 8 guys on the line of scrimmage, because Cleveland's not going to throw the football at this stage of the game. Pittsburgh has to stop the running attack. They should bring everybody up there now, play almost a goal line defense.
Ugly stat line under Mark Malone. That's what he did last week, hoping to turn it around, and started well in the first half. And here's Manoah picking his way and then driven back. And the Browns just running the clock down. 4:20 remaining in the 4th quarter. Gary and Johnson combining on the tackle. It'll be a 3rd down and 6 coming up from the 28-yard line in Pittsburgh territory. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited. Now Fontenot is the long deep back for this 3rd and 6. Movement defensively. Fontenot is stopped.
Good defense, good defense. They know Cleveland's not going to throw the ball now.
Merriweather stacking up Fontenot. Down to 3.5 left in the 4th quarter.
Here you see Pittsburgh get all of their players, well, at least 4 or 5 of them up on the line of scrimmage to stop the last play.
Is that our first blimp replay of the day? And the Browns allowing the 30-second clock to run down, just killing some more time. It brings it under 3 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Doesn't matter right here. They will punt from 5 yards deeper. Marty Schottenheimer will celebrate his birthday on September the 23rd. So that is also the birthday of rock star Bruce Springsteen. Now Bruce is born to run, but with Kozar, Schottenheimer born to pass. A question raised by our crack statistician Elliot Kalb. Question we should have filed.
It's been the passing game that has really been that's catapulted Cleveland into the lead here. That plus the interceptions that they made on defense.
2 of the interceptions by Clay Matthews. Gossett getting the good hang time, but kicks it too deep and it carries in. And again, Jeff Gossett hears it from the crowd, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 35-yard punt. So the Steelers first down from the 20 with Bubby Brister at the helm. And we may be getting a look at the final minutes of football for the Steelers and the Browns for some time, with that strike possibility on Tuesday. And Brister overthrows. Intended for Merrill Hodge.
Bubby Brister's having a tough time out there. You know, when I first heard Bubby Brister's name, I said, what is that, a Bubby Brister? Then I found out Bubby has 5 older sisters that actually gave him that name. His full name is Walter Andrew Brister III. But his 5 older sisters say, little brother Bubby.
It is Walter III Brister. Back out of high school, he signed a letter of intent with Bear Bryant at Alabama, but chose to play baseball in the Detroit Tiger organization. Penalty flags thrown. And here's Gene Barth.
Ball starts, number 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So it's called on the right guard, Terry Long. Fans beginning to file out. Capacity crowd of officially 79,543. And they may have seen the last football for some time here in Cleveland. And Brister is sacked. Dave Pizzulli in his 5th year out of the University of Pittsburgh, coming up with the 4th sack of the day for the Cleveland Browns. Dave Pizzulli, who came off the bench last season and picked up 6 sacks.
Really tough on a quarterback in this situation. We said it before. These defensive linemen know that it's going to be passed. They're just bending their ears back and coming hard. Coming off the ball hard, rushing the passer.
It is a 3rd and 20 back at the 10 as we approach 2 minutes remaining. And Brister avoids the rush and completes to Abercrombie. Abercrombie out in the open field, but short of the first down. Matthews on the tackle, a 10-yard advance. Clock is stopped with 2:07 remaining.
Well, I see Pittsburgh sending in their punting team. I don't understand why they're sending in their punting team right now.
All right, back in 1982, the strike took place following the 2nd week. And at that time, the Steelers were 2-0 and the Browns were 1-1. And here's how they finished. Pittsburgh at 6-3, Cleveland at 4-5. Obviously in an abbreviated schedule, as you see Newsom punting it away. These games of more significance, if it should be an abbreviated schedule. McNeil on the return. Good coverage this time by the Steelers. 46-yard punt and a 4-yard return. And there is the 2-minute warning. A timeout is called. We'll be back after these words.
AT&T, the right choice. In Super Bowl 17, the Dolphins neutralized John Riggins in the second half. Down 17-13 in the 4th quarter, Washington faces a 4th and 1. Should they give the ball to Riggins or try Theismann on a quarterback sneak? What would you do?
This whole situation's running me ragged. I just found out I can't add any phones onto my new phone system. So now I've got 4 real estate agents working off the same desk on the same phone. I hate to think how much business I'm losing.
What did you decide? Washington went with John Riggins, who got the first down and more as the Diesel lumbered for the decisive touchdown as Washington made the right choice.
He is the most enigmatic of athletes. Ask him of his victory and he will praise his partner. Mention his role and he'll reply with a smile, I was just riding to work.
And with a minute and 54 remaining In this fourth quarter, Gary Danielson has come on, replacing Bernie Kosar. So Danielson, in his 10th year out of Purdue, spent 8 years with Detroit. He is a free agent success story, signed with Detroit back in '76 after the World Football League folded. Wasn't drafted as an NFL player, originally signed by the New York Stars of the WFL. He's had some injury problems, sat out last year with a dislocated ankle. And making his first appearance of '87, he's come on for Kosar. A very fine day for Bernie Kosar, 17 for 29, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, intercepted once. First down at the 43, and Danielson able to hand off. Fontenot submarine. Gerald Williams, the nose tackle, making the stop. Pickup of 1 as we check out the Cleveland Browns. Kosar the story offensively. Steelers did hold the Browns running game in check. Mack with the 8 catches. Cleveland defense did a terrific job. The interceptions of Malone, 3 interceptions in the second half, 2 by the outside linebacker Clay Matthews, helping to turn it around. And it's Manoa with a penalty marker down. It's Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews with the 2 interceptions, as Mark Malone had himself a very rough second half. Penalty call on the Browns. Here it is. Illegal motion called on the wide receiver Brian Brennan. Malone intercepted in all 5 times. And Pittsburgh running only 58 yards as Ernest Jackson was held in check.
Good coaching by the Browns. They mixed in that 46 defense nicely to shut down Pittsburgh's running game.
Jackson ran for only 19 yards on 10 carries. Third down and 8. A minute 10 remaining. Fourth quarter off the draw. Manoa getting the call once again. And our Budweiser player of the game, the most valuable player, is Clay Matthews. Outside linebacker, the 10-year man from USC. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game. Back in punt formation, Jeff Gossett. And Lewis Lips awaiting the punt at the 15-yard line. And he's just running it down. 30 seconds remaining in the game, and they run the 30-second clock down once again.
They take all the time off the clock that they possibly can. 5 yards penalty here against the punting team. Not going to hurt Cleveland one bit.
So the clock stopped.
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
25 seconds remaining. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who pulled off the surprise by beating San Francisco last week, will drop to 1-1, and the Browns, who lost to the Saints in a surprise last week, also will go to 1-up and 1 down. Pittsburgh Steelers coming from behind. They were down at one point 10-0. Able to tie it up off that Donnie Shell. Recovery of a fumble. And this time Gossett able to place it inside the 5-yard line, and should hear it from the crowd. He does. They've been on him throughout the day. A 49-yard punt. At this point, there are only 7 seconds left, but it will look good on the official stat sheet. And we'll run through the scores. That's the final now. The Bears over Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay drops to 1-1. In overtime, Denver and Green Bay 17 apiece. San Francisco just pulling one out. Miami led by Marino, who threw for 3. Atlanta over Washington by 1. Houston leading Buffalo. Philly over New Orleans. That is a final score. Steelers from their 3. And Brister throwing sideline. Lips had it deflected. And it's Minifield on the interception. Another deflected interception. And let's see where they say that Minifield was down with no time showing on the clock. The gun just sounded. So a wild finish. And that will do it. It will not be called a touchdown. As Kozar and Danielson talk things over, but another deflected interception. Frank Minifield coming up with it for the Browns, their 6th interception of the day, the first of Brister, and a long day for that man. Head coach Chuck Noll, as he heads back to Pittsburgh, losing to the Browns by the score of 34.